Once Upon a Time called right now, live from a planet called Milwaukee. It's Outlaw Radio, broken down, hump day edition, right? We're gonna talk some shit tonight, swallow some spit tonight, right? Hope to enlighten you, hope to entertain you, hope to engage you. My name is Kevin Barnes, and I am the mayor of Chocolate City, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. And I'm not alone, as you can tell. I choose to share my mic, right? Especially on a Wednesday night with my fellow outlaws. Mr. Carter, was popping with you, my brother?
Peace. I'm good, man. I'm good. How everybody doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm all y'all holistic health, wellness coach, Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you nature and herbs and supplements and vitality. I know you've seen it. If you didn't, you better take a look. I know you tasted it. If you didn't, you better try it. Come on in, family.
That's right, man. And all we do is support black businesses, not businesses, businesses, right? Juice Lady in the building, kind of on time tonight. What's going on, sis?
Hey, y'all. It's me, Courtney Francois, the Juice Lady, the owner of Alkies, and the founder and director of the Village organization. I'm doing
That's what's up. Give it up for the Village.
Yeah.
She out here doing gigs, y'all. She's doing services.
Yes.
Right. Courtney has placed herself on the front lines, if you will. Right. A lot of people talk about it, but very few do it. So shout out to Courtney, man. More power to you, my sister. More power. And you did it in it was this National Women's Month or some shit like that. I mean, not to minimize it, but or was that just one day? My bad. Okay, well, shout out to you.
It's a day and then it's a month. It was a lot. I was trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, it's a Women's Day, Women's History Month or something like that.
Yeah. That makes us look very bad.
Also.
It makes us look very bad as men that we don't actually know what it is, right?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's going on, man? How you doing tonight, Rail?
Oh, man, blessed to be here. How everybody doing this evening?
We are good. We're good because we are alive.
We blessed and highly favored.
Most definitely.
Peacefully grateful.
For sure,
right,
for sure.
I'd rather be pissed off than pissed on. I had to throw that in there. I didn't know if it went, but I had to try.
Blessed, highly favored, and try not to be pissed on. Okay.
Right.
Hey, that's the best way to be.
Either the bug or the windshield.
Man, sometimes you smash. Sometimes
you start running off a bunch of them, right?
Right. You know, Kamar, I can do this all night. It's like, where do he get this shit from? But yeah, man, there's a lot going on in our city, in our community, in the country. So we just try to run through some of it, and hopefully people can get involved and be able to kind of get their opinions, put out there. Sometimes there's a relief in just speaking out, right? Like some of the greatest ideas you might have probably would even sound better when you say them out loud. That's why sometimes you have to say things, what they call it, manifesting. You have to put it in the air. So that's what Outlaw Radio is. There's a phone number, 262-202-5131. Slow it down. You're too near me not to hear me. 262-202-5131. We also have a chat room. And you can get in there anytime, man, and make it do what it do. As a matter of fact, we were laughing because Dion he was in the chat room before. We was in the green room. Dion was in the chat room. Like, let's get this shit cracking. Right? Shout out to Dion, man.
Does Dion have a hoodie?
That was the first ever.
That's dedication right there, right? That's an outlaw for you.
Does he have a hoodie?
No, he ain't hollered at me. All he got to do is holler at me, man.
He has all that dedication and no hoodie. But, I saw a picture of him with a 101.7 The Truth hat on. Ooh. I'm just saying, you in the chat room early like this.
No. Nobody ain't never went from applause to want. It's fast. That's fast, right? Nobody's ever done it, right? He said, "Hey, Juice Lady."
Hey.
After she got at you, she said, "Hey."
But I was just saying.
Shout out to Alicia Mullins. How you doing? My sister Alicia, she was on a few weeks ago. She does the Purpose to Prosperity. Say I had it right. Tell me I had it right.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. My mom's was able to connect with her and network and shit. So that was fly.
That's what's up, man. That's what we do here on Outlaw Radio.
Make shit happen.
Right. Right. I see you out there if you're watching on purpose or if you sneak watching, which some of y'all do. I see you. I see you. I see you with your looking ass. If you sneak watching, getting ideas for what you want to do, it's fine. Just share the show. It ain't no big deal. Just share the show. Dion says, Kev, I see why you don't want to be in Mississippi. They killed a motherfucker and dismembered his body. Come on, man.
Damn.
Did you see that, Courtney? I didn't even see it.
I read it. I read that, he was on the phone with his moms. He said he was being followed by 3 trucks, not just 3 white men, but 3 trucks. And then they found him dismembered.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Tell me. Let's go. Let's move. Alicia said she loved her hoodie. She needed a 4XL. Hit me up. You know how to get it. Inbox your boy. I give you this. Tell me the size, the style you want. Let's get this thing paid for and I can get it on your back. Just holler at me. Right? Just holler at me. Inbox me. This is my real name, Kevin Barnes. I'm guaranteeing you. My real name. My mama named me Kevin, right?
So I'm gonna call him Kevin.
Right. Just I call him Kevin. Mama named him Kevin, right? He said, Juice Lady, no, he said, he be in your inbox. Uh-oh. Well, Dion, you don't have to, we don't need to know that, Dion. What? It's cool. Courtney, she like, oh my God, he told.
Look, it's like, what does blushing look like for me? Is that what's happening?
Oh no. It's all warm and fuzzy in the beginning of Outlaw Radio tonight. Right? Y'all gonna be a couple called Dortney, Dion and Courtney. Get it, Dortney. Okay.
I need Dortney. Put me into relationships and coupling me up with people. Don't marry me off.
Right. Well, we got old gal you can have, right? Right. You got old gal you can have. Go get that gal out here.
She got a smart
purple shit.
Go ahead. Love connection segment on Outlaw Radio.
There we go. Outlaw connection, right? Hey, baby. Said don't do that because I won tickets and I got that hat free. Okay. He said he won tickets. And he got the hat free. Hey man, represent, man. If you like the truth, if you like the truth, that's what's up. Shout out to Tori Lowe, man. That's what's up. And my sister Liz Brown, she was on here with us for a minute, wasn't she? Come on.
Shout
out to Alicia Mullen. She says she's so lovely. Listen, man. You know what? We're on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Actually, we have a YouTube channel, which I realize I probably need to put some effort into kind of beefing it up a little bit because it sucks. I mean, shitty, like embarrassing shit. Like, how many views you got? I don't even talk about the shit because I don't push it.
Hey, man, don't feel bad. I had my YouTube channel for a while, and I'm just now starting to get subscribers.
We up from last year.
7 of them.
We up from last year.
Even on Facebook, I'm gonna tell you, there were times when Kamara and myself, 700, 800, 1200 views was the norm that we would get every time we turn the camera on. And for some reason now, when we have a big show and I see a lot of people in the chat room, I'm thinking, okay, that was good. After the show, it'd be like 73 views. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's crazy. And I know that they play with the numbers on Facebook way more now. And I know that the algorithm and how much money you put into boosting, posting, and I have to invest in some of that, just to get the show more, especially on YouTube.
But I have lives. I mean, with us doing the way we're doing it now, it's something that they're doing. I used to didn't boost anything. I didn't put any money behind it. But after I had that one conversation about COVID, those numbers definitely dropped. So one of your conversations is what changed the game.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
I told y'all I got 56,000 followers on my higher frequency Facebook page, but I've been flagged as a misinformation spreader, so I can't monetize my shit. And now I went from having like 1 million views or I think it's called like outreach or some shit. I went from 1 million of those, and it went down like 20,000. Now I don't even check it no more because I can't get paid off of it. But I was listening to
the show the other night, and I honestly see why they did that to you. You be talking some real crazy shit. Like, I mean, You real, and listen, I'm saying this in a good way. This ain't no diss. I'm saying this in a real way, bro. I'm serious. I be hearing, I listen back to the
Yeah.
show sometimes, and I listen at Real. I'm telling you, Real is knee deep. He's not just knee deep. I'm talking about, what did you call it the other night? The calendar that's thrown off when we lose an hour for daylight savings time. What did you call that?
I just called it daylight savings time.
No. You said our calendar, some kind of calendar, natural calendar we have in our body.
Circadian rhythm.
Our circadian rhythm. I'm listening to the show like, who the fuck is this? Who is this on the show with me? This boy go deep, man. So I'm just saying, man, a lot of times you extend on what we talking about to a level that I can see why white people be like, well, God damn it, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, that's why I'm here.
What is he talking about?
I'm here to encourage, educate, and edify. You know, that's I'm intentional when I speak, you know.
That's right. That's right, man. In my brother Jay voice, African.
If your words
very African.
What are you talking for, Real? Like, what are you talking
for?
Oh,
yeah. Didn't you put that shit down?
That's what I put, you know? It has to be
that's fly.
And see, that's what I say when I tell people all the time, like, the show kind of chooses the people that are involved, because Real just literally kind of came in, like, it's just the way he extends that end of it is a natural fit. It's like Lego blocks. Like, Kamar has his lane and Real has his lane, and they are both way out there for me, because I'm usually just a regular dude and shit, right? Like, so these dudes get to talking on some astrophysical, and I'd be like, well, what about the goddamn Democrats and shit? I try to get my shit back in and shit. They're like, man, we was talking about Shakreen climactic crystal principality.
You fuck with metaphysics, you wouldn't need, man. You'll be able to make that shit happen no matter who is set up in position. The metaphysics is a motherfucker, man.
Everything is spiritual.
Yeah, both of you brothers is crazy as hell. For real, like this.
Giving you one of those 20-second hugs. We gotta
man.
We gotta start small with Kev.
I'm giving both of them their props, and even you, Courtney. Like, what you do is a whole different lane, especially what you're doing with the village. Now, I don't think people even actually understand that everybody on here is actually valid. Nobody on here is like a motherfucker who just a loser sitting around, ain't doing shit, ain't about shit. Oh, that's ain't that motherfucker last week. You know what I'm saying? She was dancing on the island in the middle of the street on Fond du Lac and shit. Like, it's not like that. It's a real assembly of go-getters. And that's why I try to appeal to people in the city who have that mentality. And the reason why I call the show Broken Down is because right now I think our city, like, it's on one hand, it looks like it's thriving and it's growing, but I feel like our community is, for lack of a better term, broken down. I feel like we're not moving forward. Listen, we do the positive shit. Kamar will bring the positive. I guarantee you, he'll bring it. But I'm saying, when I look at the way this city is supposed to function, and some of the things that are happening around the city, I say we're not moving forward. Our community is not getting better. I don't know if y'all know that. Like, people saying, well, we got programs out here and we doing outreach, and we got a grant over here, and this, it's not getting better. Motherfuckers still getting murked. Right. And it's run so haphazardly, right? I'm talking to Vince Toney. By the way, Vince Toney is running in the 1st district still as a write-in candidate. And the one thing that I've noticed about Vince is, you could say what you want about him, but he's gonna tell the truth, right? You might not agree with how he says it. You might not agree with. He's gonna tell you the truth, though, about what's going on in the community. Don't get me wrong; it might take him a long time to tell you, because he's gonna go all the way back and be like, I remember in 1992 when they first passed this law, and you feel me? But he'll get there, right? And these gatekeepers, we talk about black gatekeepers in this city. Yeah. And I'm telling y'all, it's real. Listen, we have a group of name brand Negroes. It's time for this elephant in the room to be addressed. Right? Yeah. So if you want to chime in on the conversation, 262-202-5131. We have a chat room. Share the show. And if I hurt your feelings tonight, I'm gonna tell you right now, I really don't even give a shit. This has to be said. Yeah. There are people in this city who have been, I wouldn't call it ambulance chasing, but some people would call it that. There are some people who are narcissistic and ego driven, and they look like they're leading groups or movements, but it's really about soothing their ego. And a lot of times it's really about padding their pockets, right? And so they've been behind a lot of different programs and a lot of different events and a lot of different things that have happened across the city for the last 16 years. Nothing has happened. There's been no change made. But these same people are still here asking you to still support them and telling you who to vote for. My question would be, why are you trusting them? If anybody was affiliated with any of that fake ass leadership down in City Hall, especially when we see how they gutted themselves. 5 of them motherfuckers left at once, right? Because none of them, they was all on bullshit. I'm going to say it, right? The opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Know
That's
who
right.
to be mad at. And in this case, it's me. I'm saying it. If you were anywhere near City Hall for the last 10 years and you were a leader or in an elected official position, stick yourself. Stick yourself, right? You ain't shit. You haven't done shit. Don't tell me we opened up a daycare where we got a grant and we gave some people some money. We got a whole 2 beauty salons and the nail salon. I don't want to hear that shit, right? So don't come to me now saying, well, you know, I was down there for 12 years. You shouldn't be telling people that. With the state of this city, you should be ashamed of yourself. So why would we allow these same Negroes to come along in this upcoming voting cycle and still run the show? I'm sick of name brand Negroes because all they do is shit on the people who are coming up, right? So you got Vince, somebody from the community, homeowner in the community, tremendous stakeholder, works with young people, works with families, veteran, and he's blackballed, he's blacklisted. There's actually leaders here going around telling somebody don't rock with him.
Damn.
Yeah, this is what's happening, right? This is what's happening.
These niggas.
Right. So I said once again, when this goes for the mayor, any alderman, any county executive, I don't care who you are. If you've been in office longer than 4 or 5 years, stick yourself. You are a fraud and a crook, and you stealing from taxpayers because your leadership skills ain't about shit, right? In the words of my mom, I wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. We need new people in office. I had to say it. Somebody has to say it. I want new ideas. I don't want the same sorority, fraternity. We go to this church. We in this weak ass group. We wear these weak ass uniforms, outfits, whatever the fuck it is that brings y'all together. I want y'all to let this shit go and move around. Let somebody else come in. Especially if you old.
Though.
Say that again.
People don't pay attention when it's time to vote. So, you know, we get the same people because we're going to get some certain people that's going to vote for the same people, mostly because they have enough money to pay for ads, and those are the names they've been hearing. So that's the name they heard. So if they do vote, that's who they going for just off of that. And then the majority of the other black folks, motherfuckers just don't vote. Do you know every time it's time to vote, I hit maybe like 5, 6 motherfuckers up. Like, hey, is you voting today? Is you gonna go vote? The niggas like, vote about what? What we voting for? Niggas don't even know. Nobody pays attention to what the fuck is going on.
Even if you think about it like this, in the last primary for the 1st district in the aldermanic race, and this ain't no particular crush on nobody, it is what it is. David Bowen is just leaving Madison being a state rep. He's able to get into the race in the 1st district where he's not from, where he doesn't live, just on the strength of his name, and be able to win the primary and get to the general election. Once again, my brother Vince bought his house in 1992 and has been in captain of the block club for 20 years, been in the community, vocal out, helping old people, and he don't even make it through to the primary. Now, you know what I mean, I'm not the show conspiracy theorist. I leave that up to my enlightened brothers, right? They put me up on enough scams. I'm just saying some shit's wrong.
I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. It's okay. You know, I always say, let's get this money. Fuck the boule. That's how you beat them. Courtney just said it. You know what I mean? You see the ads on the TV, you see this, and you see their name near. You hear about it, especially if you're somebody new. You got to figure out how to get your name out here. You got to sell yourself at the same time. You know what I mean? And it take money to do that.
Yeah.
But when Kamar, when I'm saying, and I know you understand this, but I don't know if you overstand this. When I talk about gatekeepers, I talk about Negroes who are in bed with outlets for you. Okay. So for you to go even to a radio station and say, I have X amount of dollars, I have X amount of dollars for my ads. I got my money. Here go my money for my ads. And because they're friends with some other bootlicker who says, no, don't do business with him. We friends. They will say no to the other brother. So it don't matter if you got the money.
I don't know, man. I see ads on TV for Republicans and Democrats and everybody. Everybody be getting their ass shitted on these commercials.
Once again, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about within our community.
On there.
In the Black community, there are supposedly Black organizations and Black leaders who are friends with, they're all gatekeepers. So when you even come from the outside, like I got my bread, I got support, I got everything I need, they still will isolate you and not provide you the same opportunity. And they should. It's supposed to be fair use. So I'm just calling it like it is, right? And so I'm just sick of that. I'm just sick of people voting for people. You voted for somebody you ain't never seen, ain't from your district, because he's a name brand Negro.
Yeah.
Right? That's why we where we're at. That's why Milwaukee looks the way it does.
No, man.
Shit.
I don't think Channel 12 or nobody gonna turn down no money, man, for somebody that's running for office.
Well, you don't. Well, we talking about a local aldermanic race. It ain't really about Channel 12.
But this is where I'm going with it, though. You see what I'm saying?
Channel 12
we need
is not
to figure out how to get there. That's what I'm saying. We need to figure out how to get there.
Aaron Brown
running for office and shit, man. This is where we see the commercials. This is how the community learn these names.
Aaron Brown.
But I guess it's like the Black radio stations. Like, I be driving all day, so I listen to all the different talk radio stations. Vince didn't have no ad plan. I heard no ad from Vince, but I heard plenty for Andrea Pratt. You know what I'm saying? So not saying it could have been Vince tried to pay for something like, oh no, we ain't got no space for you. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Who knows?
Man did an interview that they never aired, Courtney. They never even
aired. Just like he did that interview. And it's like you can hear the other interviews, but you weren't able to find his interview.
They didn't even put it up. They didn't even put it up. Okay.
Right.
Now, Aaron Brown in the chat room says, gatekeepers who run the gatekeepers and just plain fake politicians getting that money. Elamwana Wauda. He said, loving the energy. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Did that well, Kev. You be fucking shit up.
I will sometimes, sometimes, players fuck up.
Okay.
He says, showing love from Chi-Town. What's up, man? In the Windy City, man. Shout out to you, my brother.
That's fly.
Tiarsha, she said, good evening, Kevin, Kamar, Rail, Courtney, and the Outlaw family. Sean Mo, what it do? Sean Mo in the chat room. So listen, so what I'm saying is, okay, and I'm Kamar, I think you looking at this on a macro level. I'm looking at it on a micro level. Because I'm saying an alderman's race is not a mayor race. It's not a gubernatorial race. It's first of all, it's probably one of the lower political positions that you're going to get in terms of where politics go, especially in our state, right? But here's the deal. We got the aldermen do business in the districts, and the districts have people in them who are known to those aldermen. So you have people who have direct access that they'll get the first call when there's a bid coming. They'll get the first call when there's any kind of government money coming down, a grant to start an organization. They may have run 5-6 failed organizations, but people who really could be effective, who really have ideas, don't get traction to even get in because these individuals are buddy, cronyism. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying get your money up, get out here, do what you do. Yeah, be on Channel 12 if you want to. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how we do each other in our own community.
At what point do we start working on a plan to beat that?
Shit,
instead of continuing to say like it's a black boule that's stopping us. It's some people stopping. Like, let's figure out how to get past it instead of steady sticking on that shit.
So in the last 200 years, who has done that? Tell me who's done that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying.
If it was that easy, tomorrow would have been done. If it was that easy, it would have been done.
All I'm saying is this.
I feel like you downplaying it. I feel like
somebody else tell me a solution.
Kamar, you ain't experienced this in business? Because since I've been in business.
I have, but I just figured out how to get past it.
All these different clicks and all this random shit.
Yeah, Man, listen, I was born, I'm the only child. You know what I mean? Whenever it's a problem, my mother always said, figure it out.
So
figure it out.
So okay, that's the way you feel. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's Outlaw Radio. It's the show where nobody's ever wrong.
It is very true though, Kev. Because
no,
if
it's not that
the radio, even though
it ain't gonna be easy. Ain't nobody said life was gonna be easy.
You know, we got social media. You know, he could have paid for plenty ads. He could have put money into social media like a motherfucker, and them ads would have been running. So it's like even now to this day, there is no social media ad for Vince. So there are ways to get around it and different things you can do. Yeah. So it is kind of up to you also. Because social media is
well, I tell you what, get all your social media, because I know some people who ran and had social media popping like a son bitch, and they still got buried by two people who was name brand politicians. I ain't gonna say no name of who it was. Vince is not the only one. Vince is not the only one
on Facebook talking about what they gonna do.
Vince is not the only one. I said Vince is not the only one.
Somebody on Facebook, they just complain.
This happens more often than it's. I use Vince. It happens to way more people than Vince. Sharon Evans said, "I get what you're saying, Kevin. It's like nepotism or who you know or blow. That's the chosen one." Ernest Walker said, "Niggas always like shiny shit." Frank Jude. I don't know if y'all remember Frankie Jude, who was beaten down by the MPD. He's watching the show. He's I don't want to tell him where you at, Frank. Frank reaches out to me via inbox all the time. We're gonna have to get him on to talk about his experiences one day. A Blast, he said the popular clique tries to keep the money and the power in the circle. Sean says, "Hey, Courtney, Dr. Professor, and K Billa, what to do, my brother?"
Peace.
Alicia said she wanted to run. Okay. She said she wanted to run. You should have ran, Alicia. Your story is powerful. She said they turned them into puppets. Sean Moore, he says in Milwaukee, the elders as a group are powerful. Our common council may actually be the strangest local government body in the country. I mean, the strongest local government body in the country. I'm sorry, I said strangest. He said strongest.
And alders, not elders.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, he said all elders.
He said alders.
Did I say it wrong, or did he say it spell it wrong?
It was an A.
Okay. Here we go. We'll see. I'll go back and look at it since you're trying to get at me. A Black says, send in the moles, infiltrate these people and expose them. Lift that veil. The people are not paying attention to look through. And I think that's what I think Kamar's getting what I'm saying wrong. And I'm gonna tell you like this: as long as some shit, as long as some shit is happening, it deserves to be discussed. If people in the community are doing something that's counterproductive, it needs to be called out. And if people in the community are not really aware of what's going on, which a lot of people are not,
I'm just saying,
they don't even know about these different organizations. People don't even understand special interest groups that control our politics. They don't know who Nation Consultant is. They don't know who the Working Family Party is. They don't know about these organizations. And them organizations pull strings like this.
We know they fucked up. We know that part already.
Well, I'm talking to the people who don't know. I'm talking to the people who don't know. That's who I'm talking to. If you know about this, I'm not talking to you. I'm bringing information to people who aren't aware so that they can move better in the future. That's what I'm talking to.
Thanks, Kev.
You're welcome. I do my best, right? Mama Jenkins, shout out to Mama Jenkins. She says, good evening, my outlaw family. Do any of them have a platform to reform the district? At this time, the district need to overhaul as soon as possible. I don't give a damn who win in that area. It's hell on the road to recovery. It's a lot of shit to do in this city, man. That's why I said broken down. Name an area that's not fucked up. I mean, in terms of our leadership, whether it's the police, whether it's the fire department, I guess they're fair to Midland. They don't have as many scandalous controversies as the police do and the sheriffs do. But look at City Hall, man. Come on, man. Like they're passing laws on people right now who don't even have an alderman. I bet you. Look, what we just talked about the other night about them sliding this parking on people downtown, right?
Yeah.
People don't know that they've changed the whole parking structure because they're not paying attention. So
everybody better start listening to the damn radio, then reading the paper. People need to
but this is what you get.
To hop in their cars and turn on their Bluetooth and not be informed and not give a fuck. And they be like, damn, when this happened? You should have stayed motherfucking informed.
So that's why it's so important to have platforms that tell people. So somebody can say, man, did you know they did the shit? Did they? Now, what this leads to, why do we have this situation? Because you have politicians downtown who you just voted for blindly. You don't know sheep shit from wild honey. Like Mama Jenkins just said, what is your plan? What is your plan? I don't even know what David Bowen sounds like. I've never even heard his voice. People say, Kev, that's your fault because you didn't go to none of the marches. Okay, point taken, take it, right. But in terms of running for this office, he didn't have to do anything. I literally sat and watched Mayor Barrett win a mayoral election from his crib. He had COVID. He didn't do not one live speech, none of that shit, and people still voted for him because they vote blindly. Ewok, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Barnes? What's going on, everybody?
Peace.
What's happening, man? What it do?
Hey, this is either in it's Mississippi, it's Jackson, it's either Mississippi or Florida. But it's this city there, man. It's 80% black. Now, these 20%, they already passed this shit. This is the crazy part. They have self-governance for white people, man. No bullshit. I ain't making it up, man.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to throw that out there, man. So, man, sometimes the shit is just it's strange and weird, and it's hard to deal with. I don't understand how they got to pull that shit off, man. How even with redlining, 80% of motherfuckers should never, with what redlining included, should never lose power to a 20% nothing.
Okay, well, you know,
that's it. That's all.
This city is 40% black. We should never lose shit either. There should never be anything that doesn't go in our favor. It's 40% black. But when you have people who are not invested in being informed, this is what you get. So you vote the same people in over and over blindly. This is what I'm talking about. You live on Outlaw Radio, caller. What's going on?
What's up, Kev? Vince here.
What's going on, Vince?
Hey, Vince.
Just not much. Listening to you guys battle it out. Outlaw Radio. So hey, I mean, I can answer questions in reference to media and any questions that anybody might have about District 1. I may not be able to answer questions about the other district, but I can tell you about District 1 and the history since I've been in it. And I can tell you about, you know, let's look at it from a holistic perspective. We're talking about numbers. I've knocked on over probably 6,000 doors. We've got 39,000 people in the district. We've got 25,000 blacks in the district, and less than 3,000 people voted. So here's what's the bottom line on the street. People don't give a fuck anymore. They're giving up. They're saying that they've been living like this for so long that they've given up, Kev. In 2016, 9,000 people voted. In 2020, a little bit more than 4,000 people voted. February 2023, less than 3,000 people have voted. So what I'm hearing when I'm knocking on these doors, you know, people are going to say they're going to vote, some of them, but they said, you know what, they're saying, I'm giving up. And, you know, I've had enough. There's nothing being done. So the people in this city have given up on the infrastructure that we've been putting together, recycling the same people throughout this system. And, you know, it's their fault too. But, you know, they don't see anything happening in this city. And I've been to 2 meetings over the last week. And the crap that they're talking in these meetings is like ludicrous. The police chief and David Crowley and the mayor, man, it's crazy. And I can understand why people are giving up. I mean, in the last election for mayor, I voted for Bugs Bunny because I think Bugs Bunny would do a better job than Cavalier.
So hold on, Vince. Now let me ask you a question that was just floated, since this is where we're at. Because I was talking in terms of gatekeepers and the effect that these stale, stagnant gatekeepers we have in the city of Milwaukee have on individuals or you know, the way things are. But the question was asked, why didn't you invest in social media postings? Why didn't you go to the news stations and give them money so you could have commercials? Why didn't you do that? Because what Courtney is saying is, I didn't see any ads for Vince, never heard any. So how much did he actually put into his own campaign, as opposed to how much the gatekeepers affected him? Once again, we say, how much power do you give away versus how much was taken from you? So how much power did you give away?
I'm not going to sit out here and spend money frivolously on something that's not going to happen. I mean, I was on WNOV a couple of weeks ago. I called them again today. They still have not uploaded the broadcast. I've been asking Michelle Bryant and Keon on WNOV. I even talked to Homer Blow. I mean, he sent me to WNOV. So I'm not going to sit back and complain about it, but I see some blockage going on. I know that I've got a reputation in Milwaukee to tell the truth, and niggas here don't like people to tell the truth. And I've called people out. So I don't have very many allies. So my thing is that where the vote comes from the people and the boots on the ground. So when I look at it, I don't care. Look at how many ads anybody have put out there. But you got 39,000 people in the district. You got 25,000 black, and less than 3,000 people voted. From 2016 to now, it's going down, and people are feeling less and less engaged in the city. So you can say you can spend a ton of money out there. It's just going to be sitting. I spent money on material.
So let me even ask you this. If you going into this race and you know that there are gatekeepers and you know there's people who are going to hate on you, like my brother said, why don't you figure out a way to do something about it, how to get around it?
That's what the only way to get around it is to get motherfuckers out here to vote. That's it. My pitch right now, if people want to live like that, they're going to continue. The only difference that can be made is people going to get out here and vote. And who's going to vote? The people in the district. You knock on their doors. They don't watch. These people aren't watching the news. They're not watching TV. They're not listening to the radio. They're not doing any of this shit. So the only way to get to them, and there's nothing different that you can do other than what I'm showing up at different places. I'm posting shit about what I'm saying. And a lot of the people in the district are elders and in their 30s and 40s and 50s. So these people have given up. I can't answer that question. If you got an answer for me, give it to me, because I'll take it and run with it. But when I went to a debate last night with in the 9th district. So the African American Society or Women's Society or something, they're hosting it. And the lady told me to call her so they to see if they can host an event in my area as the other person. I haven't heard back from them. So, it's tough getting through these people in this city, man. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it's crazy as hell.
Okay. I just want to cover every corner of it, because like I said, I'm very familiar with some of these groups out here that, and I tell people all the time, look who's standing behind the mayor whenever there's a press conference. Whenever there's a murder, whenever there's a fire or some people die, or this promise that they've been giving us is that they're going to come up with this anti-violence initiative. I know for at least 12 years I've been seeing it. Even Barrett used to promise it, and it was always the same dude standing behind him every time. But nothing ever happened.
Kev, I went to a meeting last week with I snuck up in the meeting with the governor, the mayor, and the police chief, and all these other cronies, and they're sitting up there talking, about what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, and nothing's really happening, and nobody's calling anybody out in the city. So I'm sitting there, and I asked the mayor, I said, hey, how can we have any confidence in your leadership when we've got an alder person, Shante Hamilton, who quit the district, and he didn't do anything in the district, and you hired him as the Office of Violence Prevention? How are you going to prevent some violence? Does that show something about your leadership? That he told me, well, we'll talk offline. I'm going to hold him to that.
This is the mayor that you're talking about.
This is the mayor I'm talking to. He told me he'll talk to me offline because he couldn't answer my fucking question. Okay. So, you got these gatekeepers, and people don't understand the dynamics of this city, like Nation Consulting, and you don't understand we've got the fraternities and the sororities. You got all these different little entities that they have in this city. You got the fellows. I'm not connected with any of that shit. But when you look at it, you look at the district, when somebody on the top winner only got 1,000 votes out of 25,000 votes, and they can centralize. They've got the Democratic Party behind them. I looked at their financial records. I mean, you got Abley and John Daniels that's donating to them campaigns. There's more of the same shit. These are the gatekeepers of the city. I've got Kev, what we got from Chris? We got all kind of information on these people in the city, but you can't infiltrate that shit because they're going to block everybody.
Now check this out. Dion says, I feel what you're saying, Kev. Look what happened in the Senate race. It was people way more qualified than Mandela, but they told him to step aside. Yeah, that happens all the time. Sean Moore says you can't say people don't vote. If you can't get them excited, they won't vote. He said if one station denies you, why you keep going to them? He said you have to get them engaged. It seems like you have a defeated attitude and you telling people they're not going to vote, and that's the energy you give off, bro. You had people offering.
Tell
He said,
John that's some bullshit.
Hold on. He said you had people offering assistance and you wouldn't direct them, bro. He said, what was the agenda? There you go. There you go.
What was the agenda? I told him the agenda. The agenda is boots on the ground to get people out here excited to vote. That's it. What else is there? You can spend all the fucking money in the world, and if motherfuckers ain't gonna vote, ain't shit gonna happen. So, that's some fluff ass shit there.
Well, when he asked you something, he said you had people who would help you, but you wouldn't tell them what to do.
That's bullshit.
Okay.
Vince, you told me to take the lead. I don't know what I was supposed to take the lead with, but you told me to take the lead. I told you, I said I'm taking the lead. I'm in my realm right now. I'm in my lane. I told you I'll help you. And then, like, afterwards,
what does that mean?
You said you needed some money. I mean, we could have gave you donations too, but nobody ever knew you needed donations.
Yeah, what did I say on the last show? I don't need money. I need boots on the ground.
Man, it was a show
I
a while
don't need
ago.
money.
Give me a second,
whatever,
Sean.
man. Whatever,
Give me
man.
a second, Sean. Give me a second, Sean. Sean's trying to call in. Y'all can finish. I was just telling Sean to give me a second.
Tell Sean what I need is boots on the ground. Can he put boots on the ground for me? If you can't do that, then you can't help me. I told you I don't need no fucking money.
Okay.
You said that the other week.
You got 3,000 people out of 25,000 people voting.
You needed donations, you said.
What was that, Kev? I can't hear.
He said you needed a donation.
You said you needed donate. The other week you said you needed donations. Right after the elections was over and you called in, you was out of town. And we was talking about what was going on. So what did you need? You said it was something, and then you also said donation.
That's all I said. Go back and listen to it. I said I need boots on the ground.
So,
period.
So hold on. So he said,
I know what you said, man.
John says, Kamar figured that shit out. They got on that ballot with less than 1,200 people. He said that's not an agenda. So listen, I want everybody to know. I want everybody to know whatever you say, whatever you want to say, whatever opinion you have on the show, you are welcome to it. Right. So this is where anybody can get it on Outlaw Radio. So I just want people to understand the number is active and the chat room is active. And so, what the gist of what I'm getting is people are saying you didn't do enough on your part, Vince, to energize the voters to get elected. That's where it seems like people are saying to you. Like, they say you're complaining.
What am I complaining about? I'm out boots on the ground. I ain't complaining about shit.
He said
I'm boots on.
He said
I can't. Go ahead.
He said boots on the ground without a plan ain't no agenda. Sean, I can only have one caller on the line, man. So I'm gonna bring you in a second. I'm gonna bring you in a second.
So they're talking about energizing voters. If you're not boots on the ground, knocking on doors, talking to people, how do you energize them?
They're saying you should have had
solutions,
some sort of agenda or solutions for their problems.
We do have solutions for their problems.
Okay.
And you ain't going to fix this shit and
well, it ain't just talking about people. Just talking, we've been hearing about people and what the Boulay people was doing. We've been hearing about that. Now it's time to talk. When it's election time, it's time to talk about what you're gonna do and how you're gonna do it. That's how you energize people with hope. You give them hope by talking about something new. What you gonna do? That's how you energize people.
So I ran for this office in 2016, 2020, and I'm running now. I'm running for change because I'm not running. So the issues that people have in their communities, economic development, gun violence, lack of transparency, lead in the drinking water, the traffic, potholes, that's what thousands of people in the fucking community tells me. So that's what they need. I'm fighting for what they need, and that's what they're telling me. Nothing more and nothing less.
Okay, how we gonna achieve that?
So that's the people in District 1. That's what District 1 is telling me. I don't know what they're saying in other districts, but I've talked to a lot of people in this district. They're just disheartened by what's going on in this whole city. It's not just this district. This whole city is fucked up right now.
Mama Jenkins is referencing what Ewok was talking about. She said Jackson, Mississippi is the city, and it's a hot mess, and most of it is ran by black folks. Just go to the hot spot on April 4th and get some crackhead, and they'll be happy to vote for a hit. She said people ain't gonna walk and knock on doors if there's, I think she said if there's no platform. Or is that what you saying, Mama Jeans? Because it just said if there's platform. Dre, they said could he use the money to give out gas cards to show up if it's not illegal, but he said but money will always help.
Yeah, but there's some legal illegalities in there too, so you got to be careful. I'm not going to jail.
Sean Moore said James Matthew got 3 to 4%. He was a nobody. We built the platform and boots on the ground. Ain't no damn platform. Yeah, but 3 to 4. But 3 to 4% ain't nothing to say. Is that a good thing, Sean? 3 to 4%.
Did he win? Did he win?
No, he didn't. No, but
okay then.
He said he got 3 or 4%. We got 4%. He said that's why I'm mad my son didn't run shit. He had a goddamn plan and how to achieve it. Why didn't he run?
Ran then.
Why didn't he run, Sean? You know?
Please.
It's Milwaukee, man. This is where it goes a lot of times when we start talking about what's fucked up in our city, because people are so passionate about it and people feel some kind of way. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I know for a fact that there's gatekeepers, and I know for a fact that there's people here who really make sure you don't get opportunity if you're not with them. Now, in terms of go figure it out and go find a way, that sounds like white people telling me to pull myself up by my bootstraps. That's what that sounds like to me. That sounds like somebody saying, well, so what? Racism is out here. Figure out a way to get around it. I feel like it's being simplified on that level. That's why I'm saying, like, come on, man. It's not that simple. Listen, let's not act like some of these individuals don't have a certain amount of influence. That's why they all form these teams and these groups. Let me see. He said 3 to 4% would have won any alderman seat. Yeah, but there's not a lot as many people who are going to vote for mayor as they are for aldermen. So the number's bigger. So what they say per capita, if you break it down, it's still the same. 3 to 4% of the aldermanic race is small too. That's not, He said because Jazz called me and asked me to have him drop. I'm gonna leave that alone. Sean, I'm not. We'll have to talk about that one. My
name is Wes, and I ain't in that mess.
Right. I'm not even. He said, I'm not saying it was great. I'm saying he got somebody excited. I'm just saying that's a whole other thing, because there's people even on that level who Vince. That's why I said Vince is not the only person that this happened to. I referenced Vince because I know him, but there's several people who were candidates across the city who are talking about the effect that certain gatekeepers had on their campaign. Now, if the message, like from some people, is who gives a fuck, figure it out, then that tells me that's the same. That's gonna lead to that attitude of that's why I don't vote, because they ain't gonna do shit anyways. Like, to me, it's all a cycle.
And it's gonna get worse because they're talking about Monday they're talking about re-engineering the streets to take care of the driving problem, but ain't nobody listening.
Yeah, re-engineering the streets, and then where will the money come from? That taxpayers. So, are we preparing for another? Because I know that they want money to fix the stadium. So,
that's $300 million.
Right. And I don't even think most people in Milwaukee even take into consideration all of the different things that where their tax money even goes. I really don't. I don't like, because if you start talking about where some of our tax money goes, it don't even really make sense. Especially in terms of us having the most underserved community in the state. It just doesn't make sense. We talk about community development block grant money, which probably got to be around $22 million right now. That comes every year. People don't know about that. That money is distributed by the Common Council to friends of friends. Come in, submit your RFP. I participated in the process. This is how I know. And I seen who the money went to.
At the beginning of the year, they tell you how much money they got, and they hold it over most of the people in here that want these grants. If you talk about, I'll give you a perfect example. Right now, Ashanti Hamilton is the Office of Violence Prevention. People in this city know that they've been allocated and grants and they have money. Anybody that says something that wants some money negative about Ashanti Hamilton ain't getting no money, so they got to get in line with the gatekeeper. That's how shit is ran in this city.
You got to be friends with them until you get some of the money, Vince. You can't say nothing bad about them until you get some of the bread.
See, I done fucked up because I done said something about them for the last 10, 15 years, so I'm already
why you ain't getting no money.
Yeah.
Sean Moore says stop going to and trying to go through them. He's saying like, WNOV ain't rocking with you. Why you keep going to them? Do something else. Don't even.
I tell them I've been on Outlaw Radio and I've been on Hitting Hard Radio. I fuck WNOV.
There you go.
Yeah, I've been said that. I don't care about them people. They're gatekeepers too. It's owned by a fucking white man. All of this shit is owned by white people. They have to do what they're told to do. I've asked Keon for the last year to put me on this show. He can't put me on because he's controlled.
Now, is there any truth to the fact that does Mr. Jones no longer own WNOV? Is it owned by some white people now? I've heard from somebody else kind of.
That's what I've heard.
Okay, I don't know. Well, then you got to say allegedly. Yeah. You got to say allegedly.
Allegedly.
Right. Now, Vince, do me a favor. I want Sean to be able to call in. So I want you to hit us back. I want Sean to be able to call in because he's in the chat room going ham. Right?
Well, let him go ham then. So he wants to put some boots on the ground with me. Keep going ham.
Okay. It's Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night. I don't know what you expected. What you thought it was going to be smooth? You thought it was going to be a quiet storm? You thought we was going to be on here like, and yes, the next song. No, motherfuckers is yelling at each other, cussing, threatening each other. This is what we do. It's like being in a barbershop, man. Yo, fuck you. You don't know shit. Fuck you. I can do the boogaloo. Remember that shit on that NWA shit? Shy Mo, what it do, homie?
Man. I don't know why motherfuckers be around here pussyfooting and shit, trying to, pacify shit. Motherfucker, Vince know goddamn what. Kamar volunteers some help. You volunteers some help with Joy. I volunteered, man. Listen, I done sent that man names in his inbox and everything, man. People that call me back to my man. Vince ain't calling me. Vince said he would call me, and I ain't heard from Vince. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, man.
Well, now hold on. No, because
Joey pulled up on the block. He said me there, and he wasn't even there.
Hold on, you threw the big homie name, Joey. I couldn't hook them up. That was something I was supposed to do. I failed in that regard.
You could have took him around.
I didn't. I didn't get to do it.
I told him though. Hold on, KB. Like I told Vince, right? We connected from Silver Spring to Capitol, from Green Bay up to Sherman.
Okay.
But because he's not comfortable with certain people, he ain't gonna reach out to certain people. Well, that's not my campaign. Yeah, I can get boots on the ground, but if you ain't gonna talk to them and tell them why they should be motivated to get on the ground, right? You can't say, "Oh, well, my plan is to be boots on the ground," because there ain't no fucking plan.
Dion says he focused on the hot spot. I don't know.
The hot spot is one entity, man. We talking about running a campaign and getting people that don't want to vote, don't give a fuck about voting.
But Sean,
motivated,
you
man.
talking
Come
about?
on,
hold on, you talking about keeping it real, though? And hold on, like let's not play. You know damn well that you got some gatekeepers out here that
I know it, man.
Right, but
I ain't denying that.
Right, okay. I just wanted to like right.
KB,
okay.
But I ain't no mark either. I don't let them motherfuckers decide how I shit.
But you know what they did do?
They don't decide
you know what they did do,
Sean?
Plate. You know what they did do? I'm gonna tell you. You had a very powerful, strong organization going. Gatekeepers is one of the reasons why yours failed. So
that's because the people around me continue to want to fuck with them. Right.
So they had an effect. So it had an effect.
Hold on. But once we know, this is what I'm saying, KB. A motherfucker know who these people is, who these gatekeepers are, who they associated with. So you know, okay, well then, there's an obstacle here, there's an obstacle here, there's an obstacle. How the fuck do you get around these obstacles? If you can't get around them, you go through them motherfuckers. What is that gonna take? That's gonna take people power. But you can't get the people motivated because you can't connect with the people.
Okay. All right. Show where you always right.
Hey,
Come on, man. Shit.
Earlier
It's
was a
about getting
question
people
about
motivated, man. It's about showing people showing people that they can win, so that they'll believe that they can win, so that they'll do something about changing their fucking lives. It's about their circumstances, their situations, not Vince's. It ain't about Vince's personal vendetta against Chevy, Ashanti, none of them motherfuckers down there. When it becomes personal, that's when the motherfuckers say I ain't got nothing to do with it because it's not about me. It's about you. And when you run a campaign, it can never be about you.
What about all of the other people who ran in which the gatekeepers them they shine too? What would you say to them?
Excuse me, say it again.
All of the other people who ran and they got beat by a name brand Negro too. And the gatekeepers kept them from really doing what they needed to do.
So what they need to do is right now they need to be on the phone, meeting together, come up with a plan on how to address, confront, and attack that shit. Get rid of that shit so the next time we ain't got this fucking problem. Anybody backing these motherfuckers, we out on you motherfuckers too. You can cancel any other motherfucker, cancel these motherfuckers.
All right.
It's just how you go about canceling them.
Dion said if he can't get the hotspot shut down, he don't give a fuck.
Don't tell me what people can't do, man.
I don't. You know what though?
The
only reason I disagree with you and my brother is because this has been a problem for us for over 100 years and nobody's figured it out. So I feel like y'all y'all downplaying it because when people jump out here and be righteous and making moves, and I'm here to tell you, in this city, if it hasn't happened to you yet, buckle up because it will. You will encounter it in some form sooner or later. Trust me, it's on every level. This is how they keep checks, how they keep us where they keep us at because they use our own people to do so. Shout out to Mama Jenkins.
Hey, Kev, you know what? Ain't nobody disagreeing with you.
I said I disagree with y'all.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But we ain't disagreeing with you. You know what I'm saying?
Now we gonna argue about who disagrees with each other.
No, we not disagreeing with you.
Listen. We ain't disagreeing with you. We talking about after you know. You know what I mean? Because most of our listeners here on Outlaw Radio, they know what's going on. They know what's happening down there. You know what I mean? So if we talking about somebody that's actually running for office and you want to motivate some people, you need to talk about what you gonna do to change the shit and how easy it's gonna be for you. How you gonna make this shit possible? You know what I mean? And make some people believe in you. That's how you motivate people, man. Like you got to talk. You got to talk to the people. Tell the people what can happen. What's your plan?
Yeah.
Mama Jenkins.
Football coach ain't gonna motivate his team if he ain't got no motherfucking plan.
Mama Jenkins says, "Look, I've lived here all my life. Stop blaming the same motherfuckers about these damn problems.
Thank you, Mama.
Where's the damn solutions to the problems? The gatekeepers can fuck things up, but if you know about these dogs, she said, if you know about these dogs, work them bitches too. Call their asses out."
Thank you.
Dion says,
you prepare for that shit.
He says it's gatekeepers. Look, everybody knows Lena, but she can't win the mayor race for shit.
But nothing in the world. Nothing in the world.
That's a whole other conversation, though.
This been running against Ashanti for how long? And you've been coming up against these same obstacles and blockades, brother. And you ain't figured out, okay, hold on. It's the same motherfucker. How can I go around or go through these motherfuckers? What do I have to do to beat these motherfuckers? Okay, that means I gotta figure out the self-interest of the people because that's the only way I'm gonna beat these motherfuckers. I ain't got their resources.
And I think the whole thing with the fact that these people were allowed to have whatever level of influence they have for so long is a slap in the face, and it's a black eye for the city. I think we have to hold that L because the fact that they have been able to stay in
I ain't
power or whatever. I mean, you have to. You have to. You live in the city. You're. What you mean? You outside the community.
Tell you why I ain't taking that L. Let me tell you why I ain't taking that L. Because I'm an outspoken motherfucker that shouts all that bullshit. I don't need no motherfucker to stand with me, right? I'm gonna challenge that shit. Win, lose, or draw.
Okay.
I'm not accepting that fucking L because I'm not a motherfucker that sits back and just talk
so
about
let me ask
that
you
shit,
this.
KD.
Let me ask you this, outsider.
Fuck ever.
Where's your group? Where's your organization? You a bad motherfucker by yourself. You are. You know what?
I am.
Y'all ever seen the
I
movie?
believe I am.
Y'all ever seen the movie?
I believe I am.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Remember Kung Fu Joe when he fought the police? That's Sean Moore, right? Whoa, when he fought the police.
See, but
We start
that's
calling
the
you
thing,
Kung
though,
Fu
KB.
Joe.
Check this out, KB. Now you see me by myself, right? Before you see me with some people and wasn't really doing. Just because you see me by myself now, don't mean I'm by myself.
I'm talking about in terms of making things happen. Like
I'm talking
you
about
have
in terms of making shit happen
you
too.
should have a political action group behind you. You should have a PAC right now that's running through the opposition. But so you have all of that.
I ain't running.
Well, no, but you
I
should.
ain't running. Ain't nobody.
Somebody got to
me.
be the kingmaker though. But you just said you
Don't
know how to.
want,
You just said you know how to get people motivated.
I just offer a candidate. I offer a candidate at the beginning of this race, before the beginning of this race, right? Say, man, listen, I'm willing to help you, right? Now, I can take that motherfucking horse down to the pond, but I can't make him drink out that motherfucking pool.
Okay.
I can't make him drink out that pool. My son said he was going to run in 2 years regardless. Now, if a motherfucker think I'm playing, if God grants me grace and I live another 2.5 years, watch how the people that my son reach out to, how they react compared to how those in the first district act, because he's going to have a way to motivate them people, man. All you got to do, bro, the shit is not hard. As many diversity that people are facing in this city, it shouldn't be hard to get somebody.
I think it is hard, though. I think it is hard, Vince. I think it is hard. If it wasn't hard, it'd have been done by now. Like
who's doing it?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be hard. It's got to be hard. Many people have tried and all have failed.
What other people ain't doing. They talk about what other people ain't doing. It ain't a lot of solutions out here, KD. Come on, man. A motherfucker keep on recycling the same shit.
Dion said you can't beat the system, but here's the thing. Now y'all hog-tied my brother because you said, well, that's not an agenda. What you're playing. What was David Bowen's? What was Andrea Pratt?
I ain't supposed to David Bowen. I don't know.
They didn't, right, because they didn't have one either. But because they went the right click, they was able to get over.
The objective is how to beat that click. Right? The objective is how to win.
That's ammunition right there. That's the type of shit that you can use to motivate other people.
The objective is to win, though, right?
But okay. Man. So what y'all ask of him, the other candidates didn't provide either, and they still were
because his name is there already.
About him though.
I know. I'm talking about the ones who won.
He didn't have to do it because his name is there already. That's the whole point we make it.
And the machine is operated by the gatekeepers. That was my point.
So that's why you don't. Why are you talking about them? If you know what they doing already, why are you talking about them? You talking about what they doing, their failures, what they not gonna do. What the fuck is you gonna do?
I'm talking about them because I'm tired of them doing the same.
I'm not talking about you specifically.
My bad. My bad. Courtney over here making collard greens and black eyed peas, and I got distracted. Like
I'm talking about new candidates. I'm not talking about specifically KB Vince either. I'm talking about all the new candidates. You come over here and you say that it's gatekeepers. Okay, shit, you should have knew that before you ran. And if you didn't know it, that's on you.
Okay.
Shit.
The bottom line is, man, if you lose, you figure out how to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you ain't gonna win if you keep coming with the same game plan. Let's figure out some new shit. You know what I mean? Let's figure out something. Some people ain't been doing. You know what I mean? Because like Bowen didn't have to do certain shit because his name is there already. And the objective is to figure out how to get past that, right?
I really like what Dion said.
I have a better chance of catching a unicorn, bro.
I like what Dion says. You can't beat Chris Abley. It comes down to that in a lot of.
He the one backing everybody, ain't he?
Say that again, Courtney.
He the one supporting everybody, ain't he?
he supports who he wants. He has his people that he worked. I mean, you know,
why you can't be Chris Abel?
I mean, you know, if I could throw $700,000 at a menial race like county executive just to have friends in the right places, right?
Right.
And they say everybody ain't able. Like that right there is a hell of a friend to have, right? And
My point earlier was we got to get this money.
Right.
Yeah.
That
But
was
he already
my
got
point
it.
earlier.
We
That
got to
was the
get
whole
it. He
point.
already got it.
And that's the reason why. That's fine. That's fine. So we need to figure out how to get it.
Right.
We gonna get some of this Averly money, the Village organization, and
Hey man, I'm gonna back on out of this conversation.
Well, I tell you
Yeah,
what.
I think
I tell you what.
Do you still-
I wish I had inherited some downtown parking lots, and so I mean, he got it, but I mean, he got it the white way. He was born into it, right? Like, so let's not ignore that either. This is one more thing that keeps the scales unbalanced. So it's easy
Are we
to say.
done with that?
It's easy to
Are
say.
we done with the Vince conversation?
Not yet. Well, this ain't even about Vince. This is just about gatekeepers. My thing was about gatekeepers. My thing was about gatekeepers. It wasn't. I referenced Vince because I had spoken to him, and that made everybody panties get in a bunch. So
no, it started with
what made everybody do that was Vince.
Right. You know, I feel
It
like
wasn't
I
what you
feel,
said.
I
It
feel a
wasn't
lot
what
of
you
heat
said or
coming from
nothing.
the
It
end
was
of that
Vince,
house.
Kevin. It was Vince.
Right.
No. And I still wish him luck. I want him to win, bro. I do.
And it ain't real until somebody say my whole name. Kevin, you're not listening, right? It's time to move on. When somebody calls me Kevin, right, instead of Kev. Aaron Rodgers is leaving. I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers leaving. Why? Because I'm a football guy, but also this is dominating headlines. And from a socioeconomic perspective, the reason why, first of all, nobody really should give a fuck, right? It's a 39-year-old dude who's, you know, gonna be out the league in a couple of years anyways. But here's the thing: we're gonna have now a black quarterback, right? So if we talk about what's for the people and this and that, there's a young brother here, and everybody has already said Green Bay ain't gonna be shit. Is Aaron Rodgers leaving? I'm here to tell you we wasn't shit last year and we had Aaron Rodgers. Right, so put a brother in there and let him play quarterback and cheer for the shit. I don't care if they win 2 games next year. This is the first black quarterback that the Green Bay Packers have ever had, and I hope he succeeds so I can see the look on all them white people in the Fox River Valley's faces when this black man becomes the hero for their little children, and they got to wake up to that poster of that nigger on the wall in little Jimmy's room. And on another level with Aaron Rodgers that makes me say sayonara is you have a job that pays you $50 million a year, and you got to go take a dark retreat to see if you want to still play. You got to go sit in the house with all your lights off for 3 weeks to decide if you still want to get your $59 million next year.
He can't go take another ayahuasca trip and tap in with his little ancestors.
He can, but he can kick rocks.
He can't go get away and get some his self time.
No. Because it's people in our community.
Look how
it's people in our community that don't even make $20,000 a year.
Man, let me go get in the quiet for a minute, man. Get away from all this bullshit.
He gonna be acting like Kev if he don't get that getaway.
Right. Okay. Once again,
can I say this? Nobody give a fuck about Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance, or whoever the fuck he is, right? Jordan Love, the Green Bay Packers. None of that money circulates in Milwaukee. I don't give a fuck about them. They can trade the whole team away.
Well, hold on. Don't misspeak, because that tax revenue goes through Madison and then is redistributed across the whole state. So you can't actually say.
We get it? Do we really get that?
Milwaukee gets money from the state for a lot of programs. We have a lot of state-funded programs in our city, initiatives, organizations.
How much money are they holding right now from Milwaukee? Billion.
Wait, what you mean? How much money are they holding from Milwaukee?
Up in Madison, there's this debate about money that they're holding. Chevy and the aldermen trying to fix relationships so that they can get that money freed up and all that.
But that doesn't mean there's no money coming. That means we short. But that money comes from the Packers. So by you saying fuck them, none of that money come here, some of it does. Like
when I see them catering to the black fans in Milwaukee, like they do to them kids and all them people up in Green Bay, that's when I give a fuck about the Packers.
So fuck the kids, right? So fuck them kids. That's what you saying, right? That's you on the show, right? Fuck that's Sean Moe.
Green Bay.
Fuck the kids in Green Bay. You on your Charleston White shit saying
I'm saying
you on your Charleston White shit now.
I'm saying when they show concern for my community, for the people in this community that support them, when they show that type of concern, that level of concern, when that level of concern matches the level of support that they get, that's when I support.
Well, you tell me what. Tell me what organization shows that back in reciprocity to the. Ain't that nobody in this state does.
You show me which organization I support.
I don't know if you just the type of motherfucker that won't even turn the TV on because fuck that shit. I mean, that's just yes,
Look, I just don't see it.
I'm a Packer supporter. I love football, first of all. So I'm talking to the people that like football. So I guess right now what I'm gonna have to start doing is making sure I direct the conversation. It's like people say, fuck the Bucks. We don't get shit from them, right? And be the first one dancing and shit when they win the title and shit. Like that generates revenue. Whether people want to believe it or not. Like, they know niggas working there. Right, it's a lot of people working at the Fiserv and they getting a wage to help their family, and that comes from the Bucks, right? So I'm just saying, like we black people be curmudgeons, like we hate everything, fuck that shit, right? And then we drink green beer on St. Patrick's Day. That's us. Right? What Chris Rock call it selective rage and shit, right? Like we pick the shit.
Selective outrage.
Right. Selective outrage, right? Like we pick and choose who we pissed off at, and then be on some bullshit elsewhere. Not specifically you, but some people who you know, right? We'll just call this dude name. His name is Dawn, not Sean, right? But no, I wanted to finish my rant. About Aaron Rodgers. Because the point I was trying to make was you make $50 million a year to play a game, and you got to take 8 months to decide whether you still want to play. And this city and this state has some of the poorest people in this country. And you're supposed to be their hero. And your money comes from them. So if you got that kind of ego and you bigger than everything, it is time for you to go, man. So I'm saying all that to say good riddance, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm a football guy. I'm not one of them dudes who gonna be on here like, well, I really don't give a fuck about football. I don't even watch the shit. I do. Right? Like I said, I'm a Packer supporter. I want the Packers to win. But I'm not sad to see Aaron Rodgers go. That's all I'm saying. I think it's time for him to go. And like I said, good riddance, man. Good riddance. I didn't know if anybody else had any feelings about it. Somebody got kids in the background having recess. I can't hear. Somebody kids bad as hell.
I feel like it was about time for that. You know what I mean? You look at all them quarterbacks, some of the best quarterbacks. The end of their career, the last few years, they usually go somewhere else. They usually get traded. You know what I mean? I think it's about time. Also, shit is for the best interest of the Packers. You know what I mean? Let him go now.
Kev, so was you sad when Brett Favre was leaving in? Because you said you weren't sad about this. So was you sad about Brett Favre then?
You know what? Brett Favre was my favorite player. To me, Brett Favre was one of the best player I'd ever seen. I was salty, but it was different because Brett Favre actually came back wanting to play. He came to Green Bay and it was like, no, get your ass back on the plane. Because he had done this, I don't know, let me decide every year. Oh, I retire. Oh, I know I don't. I'm coming back. So when they finally said, no, we good. And Brett Favre wanted to play. They told him to get your ass up out of here, turned his whole entourage away. So, but I understood it. It's business. It's football. It was just, I thought the way they did him was dirty. I feel like in this instance, Aaron Rodgers is disrespecting the fans. I feel like he's disrespecting the people who have supported him all these years. You make $59 million a year to play football. What are you complaining about? If we talk about you as a player, our playoff, we got one Super Bowl. You have not played brilliantly in the playoffs. Matter of fact, in most of the games where they choked off NFC championships, he played like shit, right? He wanted, I ain't had no first round draft pick. It is embarrassing to read off the list of receivers Aaron Rodgers has had over the years, from Greg Jennings to what was the white boy name? Jordy Nelson, to Donald Driver, To Devontae Adams, who's proven he's the best receiver in football. You had him for I don't know how long. You couldn't even get one touchdown to him in the NFC Championship game last year. Yes, it's time for you to go. Bring a brother in who can run the option or something, right? We got it's times need to change. That Mama Jenkins said, "Fuck Aaron Rodgers, let the son bitch go." I don't like Green Bay at all. All they good for is the prison. KB, I like football, but that $1 million crybaby can take a leap. She said, "Fuck Green Bay fans." Damn, Mama Jenkins. It's fuck me and the kids, right? It's fuck Kev and them kids, right? I get it. Hey, I support the Packers. I support the Packers, man. That's my team. That's my team. I rocks with them.
They a friend of the show, Kev?
Huh?
They a friend of the show, huh?
Hell no, they're not friends of the show. Because I doubt they would ever come on here. But that's something that my father and I started doing when I was like 8 years old. So I don't think I've missed a Packer game in the last 35, 40 years of my life. Because like I said, that was me and my dad's ritual from a little boy. I watched the Packer game with him. That's how I fell in love with football. So that's how I rock with it. Some people don't have that same experience. It's fine. It's my life. It ain't yours, right? I ain't shit. What? I just wanted to know if people felt some kind of way about Aaron Rodgers. Because it's a big. I know on Outlaw Radio that's not the most important topic, right? People be on here like I don't care nothing about that shit. I'm too busy out here elevating and assimilating and astrologically disseminating and I'm spreading sprinkles and cosmic dust all over the atmosphere to create divinity. I like football. I'm sorry. I'm just the most simple motherfucker on here, right? I'm sorry. Hey, fuck Kev in the NFL, right? Let me see what we got here. Now, I don't know if y'all even know who Bobby Caldwell is. Y'all know who Bobby Caldwell is?
Yeah.
Bobby Caldwell is the singer and writer of the song "Do for Love," right?
Yeah.
Which most people in our country who are black and not of a certain age think is a black dude. He was a white dude, and he died today at 71 years old. So if you've never heard "Do for Love," it's one of the greatest songs I've heard. "Do for Love," man. Oh man, beautiful, beautiful song.
They heard the Tupac version.
Away.
If they ain't heard
I only heard Tupac version. I heard the Snow Allegra version. I don't know about no other version. So what it's like? I gotta go look that up tonight. Now,
it's been sampled a million times.
I mean, what is?
It's been sampled a million times, man. "Do for Love" is a classic song. Does he sound like a black
man when he's singing? Do he got soul with it, or is it real? Just around that time, kind of jazzy white boy.
You talking about Bobby Caldwell?
Yeah.
He sounds like a brother. That's what I'm saying. Most people assume for years, if you didn't know, like when we were young, we thought he was black. Until I seen one time a show, like a video clip, and it said Bobby Caldwell, "Do for Love," and he came out and said, "I guess you wonder where I said, that motherfucker white." And so that's how slick. That's one of the most beautiful songs ever written in our culture, man. "Do for Love," man. And that's why so many people have sampled it. It goes into line with some of them classics that you just know, like some Frankie Beverly and Maze. I don't remember the last time Frankie Beverly and Maze released an album, but as soon as the first part of that song come on, doom, 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 every black person knows that shit. You make me happy. No, but he's black though. But I'm just saying, like, there's certain music and certain songs. It's like hearing "More Bounce" by Roger Troutman. Who black that don't know that song? Ain't never heard that song. You know what I'm saying? So it's Bobby Caldwell. "Do for Love" is on that level, man. It's one of them kind of songs where you play it at the family reunion and old people get up and be like, "Yeah, I went to the prime off this." Like, damn, this shit that old, right? You prehistoric. Shout out to Marcus Holly, man, my homeboy from North Dakota, man. Well, I went to school with him in North Dakota. He's in the Twin Cities now. Shout out to you in the Twin Cities, man. I heard it's rough up there in some parts, man. Marcus, the hog is what we used to call him, the hog. Tiarsha said, right. She said, I used to think he was black also. See, that's what I'm saying. Most people thought Bobby Caldwell was a black dude, right? Like, I don't know. Bro, I know you got an old soul, so I know you know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. I posted a TikTok about him today. Somebody was just giving a little background saying that most of us who were black thought he was black, and that's because he did that on purpose. I guess he was on a record company that was predominantly known for R&B. So with his album cover, instead of having him on it, he blacked it out and put a silhouette of him on it. So you can't, it's just a shadow. You don't see what color the person is. And they said he did that so that you pretty much hear his voice before you see him. And by the time people saw him and realized he was a white man, they already liked the song.
Oh,
so
wow.
he John B'd us before John B was John B.
John B with the Tupac song "Threw Your Ass for a Loop," huh?
Right. Are you still
A lot of people
down?
said that dude's white. Yeah. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. Let me see. Tiasha Arthur said "Love and Happiness" and "Joy," both by Frankie Beverly and Maze. Yeah, like "Love and Happiness." People don't know Al Green, they don't know, but they know "Love and Happiness." You know, "Joy," like I said, by Frankie Beverly and Maze. There's a set of songs that you could play in a room full of black people, and damn near all of them know what it is. Right, like whether they saved or not, they all know, like, okay, that's a black classic right there. Like, I guess how white people would do with some classic music, like that's Bach or that's Beethoven. Like, nah, that's Al Green, nigga. What you talking about? You know, that's just us, though. That's the uniqueness of us, man. So I just want to say rest in peace, along with everybody else who's perished and lost someone, because we know that the violence in the city has not stopped, and that's why I really originally called the show "Broken Down," because regardless of everything else that we talk about, the one thing that's not stopping and that nobody has a solution for is the violence. So we can talk all the shit we want about gatekeepers and all that. All that shit goes out the window when we say, ain't nobody got a solution for the violence up here as of yet. And I'm interested in hearing if somebody feels like they do. 262-202-5131. Young people, more and more daily, just shot, stabbed. I mean, just reading it, just going. I don't even like to look at the Journal Sentinel because number one, I know that they report primarily the violence on the north side. They have a method to really selling this narrative to the gentrifiers. Like, look how dangerous this is, right? Look, these niggas are crazy. We gotta do something about them. But there are a lot of people falling victim to senseless violence in this city, and for that reason, if nothing else, the city's broken down to me. And I talked to a brother who moved away from here, and you know me, I'm always Mr. Pro Milwaukee, and we always talk about being positive on here and trying to be the change we want to see. But he expressed to me that there's a certain energy in Milwaukee. There's a certain element in Milwaukee that he just couldn't deal with. And he said just the mentality of the people there. He talked about that cronyism. He talked about, the fact that the opportunities are so limited. Kev, I just had to leave, right? And I was saying, well, you gotta. I was Kamar in this conversation. I was saying, man, but you gotta fight through that, man. You gotta. He said, yeah, I hear you, man, but I don't feel like I should have to do all that. I just went somewhere where it was better, where it was
So he
easier for
just
me to
gave
move.
up.
Is that what you would call it? Giving up, Kamar? Is that what you would call it?
That's the way it was put. Like, you know what I mean? That's the way he just put it. Like he gave up.
That
You know what I mean?
sounds so.
Because look at it like this. Okay, I get in this race, I fall. I get up, fall, get up, fall, get up. You know what I mean? Look, man, you got to figure out how not to fall. You got to figure out how to win this motherfucker, man. And you know what I mean? And eventually you may not want to call it give up, but that's what it is. If you stop, you know what I mean? Your goal, at your goal. If you stop before you reach your goal, you gave up.
I shouldn't even reference this because I don't want to talk about this brother. First of all, I got love for this brother. This is a brother who I have a lot of love for. Right?
I ain't meaning that maliciously.
No. I know, but I wanted to talk because if I talked about it, it would probably sound worse than it actually is. But I tell people this all the time. If you're gonna leave the city, certain things have to change, right? And meaning you have to make certain changes too, right? Like, so I'm trying to say this the right way. You couldn't find your traction here, right? You just couldn't find a way to make it. You couldn't find any kind of way to get by. But then you went to another city and became a mailman. And now your life is better. And I'm saying you could have became a mailman
in that
here.
sense, that too. But in that sense, that's different because you're talking about your life. But I mean, if you are activist and you passionate about this community and it's something you're trying to do, I'm trying to, you know what I mean? And you stop before you actually do it. That's actually giving up. Now, if I'm trying to get my life together, for some reason, I can't get it together here and I go somewhere else and it happened, that's completely different than what I'm talking about. That's not giving up. You know what I mean? That's going somewhere and trying again.
Well, I think he looked at it more like, I think he looked at it more like I'm not giving up, but my figuring it out means I'm just going to leave. Like that was my solution. Like okay, you say figure it out. Well, I am going to figure it out. I'm hitting it.
That could be it too.
Right,
but I mean, like figure it out. Like we talking about a problem. You know what I mean? He figured his problem out.
He said Deion said in every major city is violence. You right, and that's why I keep saying when black people keep saying I'm going in, I'm like, where is it great for black people at? Because I want to move there too.
You just gonna have more problems somewhere else. That's all.
So I'm just now. This is where This is where the tracks come back together at. Because this is where me and Kamar do agree on, like, wholeheartedly is, especially in this city, you got to figure this shit out, right? We know what's wrong in the city, right? You know what the problem is. You got to figure it out. You got to sit down and say, shit, man, I done tried this. I done tried that. I've been here, been over there, and I got to figure this out if you want to thrive. But you're going to have to do that anywhere you go, right? So my thing is it so bad that you can't even figure it out? Now, Deion saying, I hate when motherfuckers I hate motherfuckers that always make Milwaukee seem like it's the worst place in the world. It's, okay. So I think that's where we can start with a fresh conversation. How bad is Milwaukee for people of color, right?
Fucking rough, man. You see, I had to come back on from eating my tacos. Nigga, hold on. Listen, I moved up here in 95,000 from Texas, El Paso to be exact. And my experience from that part of the world to up here, it was a motherfucking life changer. It was a shocker. I became who I am because of Milwaukee. I might be a triple OG because of the meal. Everybody was aggressive. Everybody was angry. Everybody was on some bullshit and shifty. Milwaukee is different. Like, even my son, from him spending time living in Atlanta and living here, he can tell you the differences between the city, between the people, between the fucking females. He be thinking about how the chicks treat them here and how the chicks treat them down there. It's a big difference. So, yeah, Milwaukee it might not be the worst, but this motherfucking places got hoods. It's hoods and little fucked up hoods and fucked up areas. Milwaukee is a whole hood. That's the way I describe it to people. The whole city is the hood.
I don't. Okay, so I'm born and raised here, so I don't agree, right? Like, first of all, let me say, every major city has shiesty, violent, criminal motherfuckers, right?
The whole city here, down there.
But it depends on where you at in the city. There's some places you can go in the city where it's not as prevalent. I'm not saying it won't happen or you won't encounter it, but you can make moves to isolate yourself from a lot of shit. Normally, it has a lot to do with who you associate yourself with, right? Like, and how you choose to live your life. In Milwaukee, if you out here campaigning, you gonna get some voters. Meaning, if you out here in these streets and you supposed to be about that, and that's how you riding, you got more than enough people here who gonna say, I'm your Huckleberry. Motherfucker, I'm with that shit too. I get down like that too. So y'all gonna butt heads. If you're here on some, I'm not about that at all. I'm on some peaceful, laid back shit. I mind my business. I keep it even. That's who you gonna run with, right? Like, but when you try to straddle the fence, I'm gonna be peaceful in the daytime, but at night I'm gonna be a thug. You're gonna have an issue because Milwaukee is gonna make you tell the truth. It's gonna make you pick a side, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to pick a side.
In here, it was very different compared to I can't say what it's like to me, but I'm in here, nah, you ain't got to be on shit. Bitches gonna fuck with you just cause. Oh, you over there being quiet and these niggas looking at you. Well, we on you now. It's just more. It's different. It was very aggressive. Like when I came, it's still aggressive. That's why niggas be getting beat. So I
guarantee you, if you go to Atlanta, Chicago, Miami, New York, Los Angeles, Vegas, anywhere you go right now in a club setting and you looking good, and I'm talking from a female perspective, you looking good and you go in a joint and most of the dudes start looking at you, it's gonna be some females that's gonna fuck with you. That ain't just a Milwaukee thing. It's gonna be some.
They all be negative and angry. Fuck around, I'll be in Atlanta, go out and look good. The other females gonna tell me how beautiful I am and want to talk and be friends. That shit ain't like that here.
Because I think when you go out of town, if you from Atlanta, when you go out of town, you go to the high class shit. And if you from here, you go to the hood shit. So if you go in the hood shit, you gonna encounter some hood shit, right?
Hood shit. Where I go. But no, I just think it's a different, Milwaukee is a different kind of place. This shit is. The shit is rough a little bit, but it's like I haven't been to the little parts of Florida they be talking about. You know? It's
Kamar, how bad is Milwaukee?
As a whole, Milwaukee is fucked up. But you know how I am, man. I see the brighter side of it. You know what I mean? I see the brighter side of it, man. I see us getting better. You know what I mean? I like to speak things into existence. You know what I mean? I see where it's working. I see where different people are growing more black businesses. We say we need black businesses, so different black businesses is popping up. We say we need black people supporting black people. We seeing more of that. We say we need to start learning how to garden. Every summer, every spring, we starting to see more and more people showing their gardens on social media. You know what I mean? And it's like and then you even like the conversation today, you know what I mean? Awareness about what's going on in the community. That's even on the rise. So when you talk about all this stuff, man, you know what I mean? You got to think to yourself like, look, it is getting better. Okay. It's fucked up, but it is getting better.
Okay. Is this a city where, as a black person, you just can't make it? You got to bounce.
No, I feel like you can make it as a black person. You can. Black people can definitely make it here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of people just give up. A lot of black people give up too soon.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They give up before they boat come in. Instead of figuring out how to slay this beast that keep beating them down, you know what I mean? They just say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do something different, or I'm gonna go somewhere." You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Man, it's us, man. We great.
Okay. Rail, how bad is Milwaukee?
Shit, you know what? I don't know, because I was born and bred here. So I find myself often looking back over my life and realizing some shit. Like, I remember one day I was walking home from wrestling practice from King. So I was about 14, 15. And this older lady who was watering her grass, she seen these two boys come ask me, like, "Excuse me, mister, do you have change for $5?" And I'm like, "No, I ain't got no money." You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting them know I ain't got no cash on me. So the lady called me in her yard, like, "Come here." She was like, "Now watch, there's gonna be some older boys come around that corner because they send the little boys to check to see if you got money, and then they come rob you." She was like, "So just stay in my yard for a second, because I see it all the time." So when the motherfuckers came around the corner, it was niggas I went to fill up with. So they're like, "What up, Rail?" You know, I'm like, "Oh, what's happening, y'all?" You know, shit. I'm just walking home from wrestling practice. You know, so that's how the shit was. Like, all the people that folk was like scared of and stuff, I fucked around and I know them. Like, cause my family either like I grew up on the 4100 block, but then my cousins them, they either was on 2nd and Concordia or 15th and Burleigh or Richards and Palmer. So like in the summer, I spent the summers, you know, in places that other folk, you know, may try to shy away from. So I never realized it was bad, like, until I talked to people outside of Milwaukee. Like, I thought everybody sit on the porch with their pistol. I didn't think that was some rough shit. I just know shit. Anything could jump off when I'm outside. And as a father that have children outside playing, I need to be ready for anything. But I never knew that was because Milwaukee was rough. I thought that was just regular black folk shit. Yeah.
Okay. I would have to echo that sentiment because I grew up in the same area in which it was, you know, first of all, it was beautiful because it was all black and it was property ownership and pretty homes and whatnot. But there was also a mentality ingrained into me about working hard and even being able to see the results of people who did work hard. So you had a neighbor who he worked his ass off, but he had some shit in his driveway or in his garage, right? Their house was fly as fuck, right? Like he had the toys to go with hard work. He had the rewards, and he reaped the benefits of what the seeds he had planted. So I knew that if you get down to it, this is part of what you get. But I do understand like socioeconomics. I understand how they work, and they're very negative here for people of color. In a city that's 40% black, some of these statistics are just ridiculous, right? But with that said, I don't feel the need to necessarily pack up and move. But I'm one of those dudes who feels like if it's tough, that's when you hunker down and fight. I'm one of them dudes who say instead of just running every time some shit get rough, we gonna move. Got to plant your flag and say we ain't running no more. We ain't moving no more. Whatever come now, we standing and we fighting for it. So I'm just one of those people. Now, once again, I don't like to say to people don't leave Milwaukee, especially if you have an opportunity, or if you are in a situation where the people who you are around or your environment is very toxic and you need to remove yourself from that environment and perhaps going somewhere else to live can do that for you. But I'm just saying I'm with Kamar in that I don't believe that black people can't make it here. I don't believe that this is a city where you gotta bounce because it's so bad on black people. Because first of all, I don't know where you're going where it's all good. Let me see. Dion says, motherfuckers move from here and act like they life so great. Now that they move.
Lives do be great though. Don't be hating, Dion. Dion, you sound like a hater. That's your shadow self being a hater. Because I mean, I moved to Atlanta and I had to come back, and I wish I can go back. I was living such a good life. I was so happy. You know.
He said, "Shit, I love Milwaukee. I'm Milltown crazy. 7'4", no cap." Dion is a thug, right? Dion is thug the fuck out. He don't give a fuck. He said, "No cap." Vince said he wasn't able to type in until now, so I guess we'll be hearing from Vince. Mama Jenkins said, "Wonder what plans the leaders got from the Republican National Convention coming. You think they're gonna plant flowers on the north side, pick up the car parts, trash, and clean up the markers on trees where they wrap with teddy bears and Hennessy bottles due to a life being lost? This city is rough now, and when racist folks bring their asses here, it's gonna be on." Okay.
I thought about going through the hood in the middle of the night and taking that shit down, but that would be horrible to some people. But that shit is bad. It makes our neighborhoods look bad. We gotta get rid of that shit.
My boy Ewok, who relocated to the AZ, says people are on top of each other like ants in the mill, not enough space. So Courtney is right. If one spot is jumping, everyone in the mill gonna meet up there. I live on the west side. It's spread out, so we got room. We got elbow room.
Right.
Dion says motherfuckers move out of town to live in a city where it's 20 black people in the whole city. So of course, when y'all see each other, it's hugs and smiles. Dion is an outlaw, man. Dion is an outlaw, man.
We know black folks be going where all the other folks at.
He said, "Make it in the grant industry." Vince said, "You can make it in the grant industry." Mama Jenkins said, "Milwaukee is decayed, and you better start bringing your friend, like 357 along with you." Ace Cooley in the building. I ain't heard from you. I ain't seen you, my brother, in a minute. Welcome back to the Ride Outlaw Radio on Wednesday night. You know what we do on here, man. We talk shit and yell at each other and call each other all kinds of foul names, and then at the end we all like hug and make up. Now that ain't what we do. Right. I'm just saying. Dion says, "Go to Memphis. You see niggas with 30 sticks and Dracos. It don't bother me because I'm used to BS, but you got to know how to move." I agree with that.
But you see
that where you go
on the east side.
Ace said he coming home in 2 months, Kamar. He said he's coming home in 2 months, man. Shout out to Ace Cooley, man.
Yeah, he told me a while back he was coming back.
Shout out to Ace Cooley, man. I've known Ace Cooley since 8th grade, and we never could have imagined back then that you know we would even be able to connect this far along ahead in life. But I just remember one time when I was in school, I was in South Dakota, I believe, and we was on some like road trip type. Let's go out, take a road trip, go to club type shit. Me and my partner, who also went to middle school with me, ironically, and we look up and we see this dude and we say his name, his real name, and I said, "Man, say ain't that?" And my guy goes, "Yeah." And so we see each other that far along where he's in South Dakota playing football for some school. and we're in Minnesota, but we go to South Dakota and see him in the bar. And so we just connected from there. I'm just saying, you know, along the last 30, 35 years, Courtney, like, damn, y'all old. We are old, Courtney. We're old.
As far as Milwaukee, like I just seen a person talk about Chicago the same way people talk about Milwaukee. Like, man, as somebody who grew up and was born in Chicago, I had to leave to make it because it was pulling me down. Which I can understand that. Like when you from a place, the people
Give me a second. Keep going, real.
Oh yeah. The people who your original circle may have been may pull you down, but it's all about changing your mindset in your circle. As for me, with the Midwest, what we don't understand is being by the Great Lakes, we have like a reserve of clean water. Like we got a clean municipal. Like we motherfuckers
thought it was me.
Send that shit in. So that's probably my signal because my shit about to die. But the Midwest, we still good. Like we got like the best soil for agriculture, you know, outside of like Cali and shit like that. And we on a municipal water supply. We on the border of Canada that got more natural water resources than any other country. So if we did need to get little in Wisconsin, we right around the corner from Canada. So honestly, this is a strategic area. That's why I don't plan on leaving.
Right.
I mean, even when I do leave, I will still keep property here. You know what I'm saying? That's my goal. I don't want to run from this motherfucker. Right. I want to build a kingdom here and then move on to establish outposts.
Right. You know, hey, you know, ain't nothing wrong with moving.
The whole Midwest, we ain't too far from the Mississippi River. We by the Great Lakes. This is a good ass position.
Yeah, as far as survival, that's how I felt. You know, as much as I wanted to go to the South, as far as surviving, hell yeah, we're in a good spot. Not too many natural disasters around this motherfucker. Like I said, we 6 hours from Canada. I done looked at different routes.
Right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Right, shit. We can get to Canada without seeing anybody. There's enough wilderness that if we had to get to that bitch low, we could go through the trees and not see nobody except a couple Bigfoots and shit, as my father believed.
Watch out for Bigfoot, right? Watch out for Bigfoot.
Has to be safe now.
Dion says I travel a lot. I've been to ATL, Dallas, Oakland, and many other cities, and I'll tell you, ain't no place like home. Dallas, every fucking where you go, you gotta pay a fucking toll. It might take you 40 minutes to get there. The toll road, you'll get there every 20 minutes. Get there in 20 minutes. So it might take you 40 minutes to get there because of the tolls. He said, "Fuck Dallas." Good point, Rail. That's why they trying to gentrify it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
White folk know they trying to get back to this Great Lake region because real shit, the Great Lake region is like the Fertile Crescent that they talk about in the Middle East, where they talk about life started. Like this is a Fertile Crescent, and we along the Mississippi, all kind of shit. And then the way global warming happening, a lot of places gonna be underground. Underwater. Wisconsin gonna be good.
Okay. Once again, I said Broken Down is the name of the show because even that applies to what my brother Vince said about people here who have really given up. I think that there's a large population of people in Milwaukee. The reason why they don't try to find that solution that Kamar is talking about, or don't try to find a way to bust through the glass ceiling, is because they've simply given up. And that's why when Kamar said that about my brother, I laugh, because that is what they want is us to leave. I feel like this. I feel this like for real. I feel like they want to try and frustrate you so much that you do leave, so they can move right on in behind you. And see, people got to understand the near north side is the most prime real estate in the city, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was, once open housing was passed and black people were able to get outside that box below Walnut where they had us boxed in at, and go spread north and northwest in the city, white people hit it. Without a shadow of a doubt, they ran off and left beautiful neighborhoods. I tell people all the time, if you're into architecture and you're into really knowing the history of certain buildings, there's a lot of Frank Lloyd Wright architecture in the city. There's a lot of famous architects who came to Milwaukee during not Reconstruction, but during the Great Idea, during the Depression, when Roosevelt came in and instituted these acts to do all this kind of infrastructure investment in infrastructure. They built all kinds of different buildings and homes and stuff like that. You can get a home right now in my old neighborhood, and this has been on my bird for it's been bothering me, so I'm gonna have to do it. Because I've been driving through the old hood, right?
Okay.
And as soon as I start driving through the hood, I get really nostalgic about how it was when I was growing up. And I'm realizing, and this is the first district, by the way, I'm realizing it's still the Rufus King area is still the most beautiful black neighborhood damn near in this city. I'm like, I got to come back over here and purchase some property.
Yeah.
I drove past the house I grew up in, the home my parents bought in 1970 that we got rid of in 2013. And I say, I got to get back over here and get some property in the neighborhood because it's still that beautiful of a community, right? And so I think I have to go with real when I say, man, I love Milwaukee because that's the Milwaukee I know. That's the Milwaukee I remember. I didn't come up in a house where the lights was off, the gas was off, people getting shot and stabbed in the alley. And I discovered that shit later on when I decided to go hang out on Atkinson, right? That's when I learned about neighborhood shit, right? Like, oh, this is how y'all live over here. Let me see my chat room because I love this conversation. Let me see. Oh, I missed a lot of shit when I went to check on these plugs. My internet, I had one of them rail incidents where I had to turn the knob up on my my modem. I didn't even know it was a knob on it. I had to go to it. You can't turn no knob up on no goddamn modem.
Yeah, I gotta give me another Wi-Fi access point. I got Spectrum, and they basic router. The
Rail got a walkie-talkie. He got that Dukes of Hazzard walkie-talkie.
Like that, Kev. I'm like, damn.
Breaker 19 ass dude. Let me see. Mama Jenkins said, KB, you stayed in your room because it was cold as hell in North Dakota. We got 37 areas in Mississippi, and I love this place. 37 acres, and I love this place. I'm in the middle, and I love this city. This is home. Yes, ma'am. You know what? When I was in North Dakota, I did stay in my room, or I stayed in somebody else's room. It wasn't a place where, see, I'm black, so I'm from Wisconsin, but nobody's built for North Dakota cold unless you from North Dakota. So you're right, Mama Jenkins. When I was up there, unless we had practice, unless I was in a game or something, we found somewhere to get because it got cold as a piece in North Dakota. But I missed that whole time when I was going to school, whether I was at Eastern Illinois or in Minnesota or in North Dakota or whatever states I was going through, hanging out in Minneapolis, hanging out in St. Paul, having a damn good time. All I ever wanted to do was come home. And I used to say it all the time, and I can't wait till I get back to the crib. I went to Texas one time, and I was down there, and I'm like, man, I can't wait till I get back to the crib. Like I'm one of them dudes, right? So my brother talks shit to me constantly, like, you the only nigga that love Milwaukee. He tell me all the time, you the only black person on this planet that loves Milwaukee. I'm like, nah, man, because he can't stand it. That's why he's in North Carolina right now. Dion said that's another thing. Like Rail said, we live by a fresh body of water. I mean, come on, man. We
got cold as a piece.
Where?
Cold the what?
Say that again, Courtney. You broke up.
You said it got cold as a piece. And I was that's cold as a piece of what?
Oh, no. Okay, I forgot you ain't old as us. That's something we say. That was cold in a piece. It could be a piece of whatever. It's just
I be wanting to see where things are going. It's cold as a piece.
No, it's cold as a piece. Like that's something we say. It's cold as whatever you want it to be. So you say cold as what? What's the coldest thing you've ever encountered?
All right.
Such and such and such. Okay, that's what it was cold as.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I threw some, some 90s North Side slang out there. Like, oh, my fault. Man, that motherfucker was cold in a piece. Okay. I'm sorry. I forget sometimes I'm a native North Sidean. G-Mo Capone, my brother, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Welcome, man. I'm glad people are tuning in, man. Share the show. G-Mo is one of them longtime Outlaw Radio supporters too, man. Mario Steele G-Mo Capone Thompson. What's going on, my brother? Deion said, ask the motherfuckers in other states where they get their water from. I bet you they can't tell you.
Right. Right. Shit. Hell, some of them made electricity. We at least got an electric company too. Like, we good. We like strategically, we good, and that's why they trying to gentrify this motherfucker. They trying to get us on the coastal. They trying to get us on the coast and in the desert. So when all this natural disaster shit happen, they'll be good around fresh water and fertile soil.
Well, even with the north side here now, where it's adjacent to downtown, it's right off the expressway.
Right,
it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the lakefront. You can get to any suburb if you go straight down Capitol. You're gonna go from Milwaukee to Pewaukee in 30 minutes,
right,
and be able to go to any suburb, north, east, south, or west, just from that street alone. So they realize, because see, the gentrifiers are young white people.
Mm-hmm.
They're millennial whites. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They are now graduating from school, getting their degrees, inheriting their trust funds, and they're saying, I don't want to live in Waukesha. I don't want to live in Oconomowoc. I want to live downtown Milwaukee, right by the river, right by the lakefront, so I can walk my dog to Bradford Beach in the summer and have tea along the sidewalk at little small cafes where there's live jazz. Mm-hmm. They want to live like that. So that's why they're fishing for this real estate. I just feel like we need to empower ourselves so we ain't got to go nowhere. Exactly. I'm one of those people, like, financially, I'm not bragging. I'm saying financially, my wife and I can afford to handle the whole weight. Like, we can stay. It won't bother us. Gentrification, we can survive it. We'll be straight. But I worry about my people, and I don't want to see my community whitewashed like that either. And I don't want to give up what power structure we have. It's very minimal, by the way. Vince is back on that. He said, I'd like Kamar and Sean to knock on some doors and talk to the 23,000 people in the district who don't vote. And their reasoning, most in this city blocks operate in silos. We don't pool our resources. Okay. He's on that shit. Deion said he wanted to buy a house by King himself. Yes, man, it's very beautiful. The big homie, when I took my homie Joey his hoodies, and he lives still on the block we were raised on. We had a conversation around that. I said, damn, JoJo, he like, Kev, this is all I ever knew. Like, this been the most beautiful neighborhood, it was the best place to grow up. So I came right back and bought me a crib, right? Like 3 houses from his grandma. So yeah, I think I need to get back over there and do that too, man. It's something I gotta put on my list.
Yeah, shit. There's a lot of older homeowners too who starting.
Rail done slowed up on us. He gonna come back real fast. Watch. He gotta turn the knob up on.
Let the motherfucker get it for whatever back taxes they owe.
Yeah. Property tax be the reason over there, because the houses be in families for years. Because most of those black people moved over there in the late 60s, early 70s. So and those are the people who are still over there. Because I know on the block I lived on, everybody
got property taxes that they might have still behind on, and they might be too old to care now.
Yeah.
Yep. He said, I've been getting money since I came to the mill. Deion says that. Marcus Holly says, yes, sir. Marcus Holly can tell you about the North Dakota Knights. He was up there. He said 15-foot snow drifts. I'm trying to tell you, Mama Jenkins' brother is a Hall of Fame basketball player from the early 70s, coincidentally. And he's in the Hall of Fame up there at the School of Science, at the College of Science, but so am I, right? For the 1994 bowl game champion. So I'm in the Hall of Fame up there too. So Mama Jenkins, we connect. See, 6 degrees of separation, right? I never would even knew that, that you were. And how did I know? Because I'm one of them dudes who gonna read everything on the wall when I go somewhere. So I used to read all the little plaques that be on the wall. Like, it was a black dude here in 1970. Damn. So that's me. That's what I do. Let me see. Ace Cooley said, home is home, brother. I'm like that now to move my ass all around these crazy ass liberal white folks. Mama Jenkins said they only had 1 gas station and 2 stores in Wahpeton. I was there in the 90s. They had a little bit more. We had a little bit more in the 90s by the time I was there. And what we didn't have, we shot to Fargo real quick, which was probably about 250,000 people at the time before the oil. So that was a big city. That's where we went to the clubs and all that, you know what I'm saying? But college days, man. That's like I say, Marcus Holly will tell you, boy. We used to be on one in that cold motherfucker. Anybody on here intending on celebrating St. Patrick's Day?
You know it.
Yeah. I might go get me a Shamrock Shake. I ain't even gonna lie, G. I like mint ice cream.
Oh, okay. Now you know that's dairy and that's bad for you, right? You ain't supposed to be eating that because milk is pus.
We all
Milk is
lactose.
cow pus.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, for
But-
sure. And I'm gonna still catch that
Hey,
shake.
Twisted Plants got it vegan down there.
They
Oh,
sell
vegan ice cream.
and
They got the vegan mint milkshake.
Oh
So,
shit!
come on, what is vegan? What is vegan ice cream made out of?
Non-dairy, probably almond milk, coconut milk, maybe oat milk.
Probably,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, do they sweeten it differently? Because I know you put the sugar and all that stuff in milk.
Well,
So
no, sugar vegan, it just ain't good for you.
Okay.
Right, it's from a plant.
Right.
replacement.
It just ain't
Courtney,
good
you
for you. It's
blanking out.
horrible.
Oh, I said a lot of people use cane sugar as replacement. Cane sugar, like some
Yeah.
not bad or something, but usually with the kind of ice cream, it's gonna be some cane sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Oh yeah, while you down there, Twisted Plants, make sure you grab you a Vitality.
Oh yeah. Plug your shit. Plug your shit. Plug your shit.
Wait.
Hey, we gotta get to a situation where Kamar can do a commercial every 15 minutes. Like Outlaw Radio is brought to you by Nature Herbs and Supplements.
Yeah.
See, Kamar, you ain't even thinking outside the box. You ain't gonna never break through this glass ceiling.
Look, y'all. Can you see it? Can y'all see it?
Let me see if I can tighten up. What's
that?
What is it?
What's
It's
that?
an occupancy permit for Alkies because we out here selling motherfucking juice. Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Occupancy. We at a spot. We at the Upstart Kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Of occupancy. Why you scratching your head, Kev? Like you don't understand. We got the juice around this motherfucker, Kev.
I'm scratching my head because I'm old and I have a headband on from these headphones and it's making my head itch. I'm sorry. The fuck you scratching your head? My bad for scratching myself in public.
What?
Yeah, hey, my partner Marcus says, ooh wee. He already know, man. Look, I want to even write a book about my college experience, man. Like, I tell people all the time, I went to HWCU. I went to historically white colleges and universities, right? And I just want to write a book about some of the crazy, wild shit I encountered. I went to I went to North Dakota State College of Science, Eastern Illinois, and Southwest State University in Marshall, Minnesota, over a 5-year span. And I just want to tell people. So I'm thinking about, and my guy said, well, you should write a book, Kev, but that should just be one chapter. Because there's so much other shit that you would have to talk about this doesn't happen in the neighborhood and growing up and all of that. But I just like them was some of the wildest times where it was just like if it was like the movies that you see about going to school, that's how my shit was. It was like one big ass long movie, and it was always shenanigans, no matter what. It was always foolish shenanigans, right?
That'd be dope.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about from bar fights to road trips to it's just crazy, man.
I mean, you don't have to do it in one book. You can make it a series. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as shit, I mean, if it's dope, you might be able to do a screenplay behind it, and you know, scale your shit up. I mean, honestly, while we talking this shit, I'm typing my second book right now, so it's easy to write a book. Like my first book, I made most of that book while I was driving to work, talking into my phone. I just did talk to text. I talked that shit out while I was driving, emailed it to myself, to my work computer, and in between calls, I was editing that motherfucking Microsoft. Yeah, man.
Marcus said, man, it was tight. Listen, and see, the thing is, for me, it's about the journey. And it's about the transition, right? Like, so me coming really from straight off Capitol Drive, being this kind of youngster in the 90s, going off realizing that the world is bigger than your hood. It ain't all about, you know, the north side and Capitol Drive and Atkinson. It's a whole country with all kinds of different people and different experiences. And I had to learn that, right? And so just like to broaden my own horizon. So the book will be more about my journey, and then even being able to come home as the first black male in my family with a college degree. On top of all the foolishness, I still came home with a bachelor's. And so, you know, I'd have to I would have to. That's the way I want to tell the story because I don't want to glorify all of the shenanigans as I call them because there's enough in there. I don't want.
Well, just when you get some time to yourself to chill, smoke, or breathe, whatever, go ahead and just take your notebook and just brainstorm the shit you want to include in the book, and then next time you chilling, put that shit in chronological order or order you want to tell it in, and then the third time you chilling, outline that bitch, and then you halfway there.
Yeah, man. I left here a 19-year-old youngster. I literally came home with a wife, right? Like, so this story is crazy, right? Like, so I would, tell people about that.
Yeah.
Mama Jenkins said that's why I like this city and any other city. It take hours to drive to work on a daily basis, KB. That's why I stay where I'm at. I like my spot. We got just what we need here on 42nd Street. I've seen Mama Jenkins' house. There's no need to move. Trust me. Believe me, it's very comfortable. It's easy to say I like this when you're over there. She said I'm gonna get her. She gonna get her one of them shakes because she likes Rock shakes. Right.
They be slapping.
Marcus says I tell young cats about them days to encourage them to go. My son at a HBCU Lincoln U, in Missouri. Listen, my daughter, she had what I didn't have coming out of high school. She had the grades, everything, right? And I tried to get her to go HBCU, and she said no. She went to the University of Minnesota. Ironically, she went to the University of Minnesota. That's where she's about to be a senior at. So, and we talk about all the time. She says, Dad, I wonder how much different this would be had I went to an HBCU. But like, she just came back from England. So she studied overseas in England for a semester. So I don't think it'd quite be the same. So I think she made the right decision. I don't know. I don't want to criticize no HBCU, but she didn't say they seen Southern them over there. I'm just saying, man, in terms of you getting out learning, you a youngster, go see the planet. She got a whole different perspective because she done been all the way on the other side of the earth. She got a perspective neither myself nor her mother even has. Because she's been all up in England and in Italy and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, man. Tell your kids to get educated. Let me see what else I got because I did. Now, listen, have y'all seen that now? David Clark is considering a run for the Senate. I don't know if everybody knows who David Clark is. Kamar, I know you know who David Clark is, right?
Yeah.
Why? See, as much as he criticized Milwaukee, I guess he's along the same lines as us because he still come back here and try to run for office, right? Like, so, but why? Why is the most self-hating Negro that we've seen in the last 30 years, David Clark, even considering who's going to vote? Who's going to vote for David Clark, right? Why would you vote for David Clark? Here's a brother who said racism doesn't exist. It ended in the 50s. Police brutality doesn't exist. That's a made-up thing. This is a brother who said, what was the last tragedy we had where some people got killed? It was some murders, and I can't remember which one.
Was it that parade thing with the dude ran through the parade?
I don't know. The one where he said this was black women's fault. This was single black women's fault. Right?
Oh, damn.
It was I can't remember what. It was one of the latest incidents that we had it was one of these like where people, some happened. And he blamed it on black women and said,
like one of them vehicle accidents or something.
It was a murder of some sort. It was some kids got killed in this. It was a mass shooting or something like that. And he said that it was black women's fault. And so I'm like, David Clark, man, please just leave. Right? Please just leave. Leave us alone. Leave us alone. My advice of this week goes to my brother Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods. See, we've always known Tiger Woods was what we would call a white folks Negro for a very long time. I've never been a Tiger Woods fan, right? Tiger Woods' father was black and his mother was, I believe, Korean, right? And Tiger Woods has always gone out of his way to distance himself from us. I believe his first wife, who he had the kids by, white lady. And shout out to you if you got a white woman. And then she divorced him and left him. He got in trouble. They say when he left there that night, she was chasing his ass with the golf club. Which is, I guess, you would think, well, I don't want to marry a black girl. She's so hood. Well, was the white girl hood when she was swinging that goddamn golf club at your whip when you ran off in the ditch? Scared him so bad he ran. Who crashes at the end of their own driveway? How the fuck you dipping from your? He must have been scared, like looking back driving, right? Like trying to get away from her. So then he has a girlfriend who's also a white girl, and this is just his girlfriend. After all he went through with the first time, he didn't say, well, let me try some sister, right? Like, he didn't even try to say, I'm going to go try to see what these black girls are about. He goes and gets him another one.
That's
now, she was living with him, totally dependent on him, and now they've broken up, and she's suing him for $30 million.
For what?
Because she said he promised her. First of all, when they first started dating, he made her sign an NDA. Right, like you.
Okay, yeah.
But then she said he promised me that I could stay at his house and live off of him for X amount of months, even if we broke up. Now that's not written. She said that's what she was promised, and when they broke up, he said, "You gotta go," and she said, "No, I'm suing you." So she's suing him for $30 million.
That's how he talk.
Yeah, that's how he talk. Because you know he got the big old front teeth. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I won. Right? Like,
are they in like a common law state? Well, no, they haven't been long enough for common law, right? Common law marriage.
No, they haven't been, and that's just the thing. See, I'm saying, like, nowadays people will tell you in America you can literally sue somebody for anything, right? You can do this. Like, it don't mean you're gonna win.
Right,
but I'm saying, like, she giving him hell, and brother, get you a sister, Tiger. Stop it, man. Stop it with the shenanigans, man. Go get a light-skinned one or something. Like, I'm just like you. Come on, man. It's not working out.
You ain't gonna be able to get no black woman that don't want his money because he ain't the type that black women would like. Let's be real.
Ooh, okay. Kamar, now, what do you mean by that?
Well, you know, it takes a certain type of brother.
Okay.
You know what I mean? To get with a sister, man. You know what I mean? And he ain't that kind of brother.
He gonna become.
Let's just say that, right?
He become one of them passport bros that everybody hating right now and shit. Right. Like I don't blame the motherfuckers, but yeah, that was a hot topic for a couple weeks, like last month. Passport bros and shit.
Yeah.
Wait, no. So what are the passport brothers? What are those?
Oh. So those the niggas that I guess can't, according to the women who mad at them, those the brothers who can't handle a black woman, so they go to other countries to find, you know, to have sex with other women in other countries or to find more docile companions and wives. So, you know, women was just, it was women and men. I don't know why the fuck men discussing what other men do, but it was women and men just jumping hard on the passport bros. Like, yeah, they just weak and this shit. And it's like, ain't nobody ever said shit when white men were going on sex tours to Thailand and shit, or when sisters was going to Jamaica to get their groove back and shit. We knew what was going on the girls' trips. But as soon as brothers do some shit that women don't like, men and women were hopping on their ass.
What is it that? Well, hold on. Kamar said, Kamar, I disagree because I think that he could go get, because you got some whitewashed blue blood black women here who like, and he got enough money to go in them circles and meet one of them.
All sisters ain't sisters and all brothers ain't brothers. They on the other side. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev, man. Don't act like you don't know about this one.
Look, Russell Wilson went and got Sierra. So I'm saying, like, it could be done, right? Like,
people mad at her right now for some damn dress. And
right. Well, okay, so here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Still mad at that shit.
So Serena Williams couldn't find a black man, so she wouldn't marry her a white man. And sister said, well, shit, that's because brothers ain't shit. Now you got a whole Tiger Woods over here who got money. Serena got money. Why Serena and Tiger didn't hook up and say, man, power couple, right? Like we hate each other that much that we in the same room and each one of us choose to go to the other side.
Right.
I just think that's sad. Like that's Tiger over there talking about no, she's too dark. Her butt's too big. Oh, look at her butt. Oh my God, look at her butt. And Serena over there talking about he's not quite wide enough for me. I don't really know how she sounds, so I made her sound like a mix between Forrest Gump and Shanae. Right. That was Shanae and Forrest Gump together, right? That was like how I feel like Serena. Serena sounds funny to me when I hear her speak. She sounds funny to me. So it's like, oh, thank you for this award. And I'm like, what's wrong with her? Like, does she got something in the back of her throat? Like, I don't know. Let me see. Vince says Clark could win. Black Milwaukee don't vote. White people love him. Look, darn it, Vince. Sean told you to stop saying black people don't vote. He just told you that, Vince. He just told you that. Do you not listen? A said you'd be surprised how many sellouts are out there. David Clark is only one. Honestly, when you get caught up with these two parties, you get sucked into white folks' bullshit. Tiger Woods got whooped like he was Will Smith on Emancipation. All I know is, like DJ Quick said, he left Speedy in, right? And crashed his car at the end of the driveway, right? Like, he's trying to get away from her ass. She had that Al Green hot grit shit for him. Deborah Mama Jenkins says, I was supposed to follow my brother up to North Dakota on his scholarship, but I got a job and pregnant and didn't go. Briggs and Stratton, 31 plus years and a bachelor's degree from Mount Mary College in business communications. There you go, Mama Jenkins. Keep it moving, right? You find a way through it, as Kamar said. I ain't gonna let this stop me. Yeah. I talk shit about North Dakota. I'm gonna be honest with you. I talk shit about North Dakota a lot because it was a very callous place for a person of color, but I can't lie. They extended an opportunity to me, and I had some options, but I felt like at that time it was the best one. And I don't ever regret going because honestly, I needed it, right? Like, and I didn't know. It's one of them things where when you young, you don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that getting away from Milwaukee just briefly and getting my head out of the hood and all the shit I was mixed up in and being able to get put somewhere. I remember laying in my dorm room and there was no sirens. And I bugged out. It was the first time in my life I ever lived anywhere where there was no sirens at night. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, there has to be a fire. There has to be an ambulance or something somewhere. There was literally no noise, no fire, I didn't hear no systems beating. I didn't hear no gunshots. And when you lay in the dark like that, you tend to start to think. And so I started to think. And I got myself together, man. It helped me get my mind right. So I talk a lot of shit about North Dakota, but I learned so much about myself. And I met friends. I call them, we still to this day, everybody who I played ball with in school, we consider ourselves brothers for real. Like like that's a brotherhood for us. And so if anybody needs anything, they could reach out and you say, oh brother, let me help you, because that's because of what we experienced. So, I talk shit about it, but it was a good thing. I got out of there because I hated it, but I needed for it to happen, right? I hear Kamar sometimes talk about going to the penitentiary. He hated going. He didn't want to go, but it was the best thing for him because it helped him get his mind right. So same thing, kind of like different ends of the spectrum. I don't want to say they was the same, Kamar, because I don't want Kamar to be like, motherfucker, I was in Walpond, nigga. You was on a bus going to play a football game. It's the difference, right? I understand that. I'm just saying sometimes as a youngster, you don't know when you need to be removed and put in a different situation, how it could benefit you. That was my whole point. But I hope David Clark doesn't win. I hope he doesn't. And he said, I don't know that white people love him because he failed on getting it. He was supposed to go with Trump. He failed in that regard. He hasn't really been and see, he's married to a white woman as well, but he's had some issues with her. And so I'm not so sure white people necessarily love him. And the one thing about Republicans is when they got black people involved, if you as a black Republican show that you can't really deliver the nigger votes, they don't really give a fuck about you either. So they treat you a certain kind of way, right? And so Clark has had a lot of controversy, man, even on the end with white people. So I would hope he doesn't win anything. I don't miss the days of him being in charge or being in power in this city. I think we've been better off since he's left. That's just how I feel. We see that right now, Tyler Perry and Byron Allen has now thrown his hat in the ring to buy BET. we've been complaining for years that BET is no longer black owned, right? And so we see now, and see, this is what I'm saying, like what should have been happening a long time ago with all these black billionaires. This is the question that I've asked, and nobody's been able to answer it for me. You could take Magic Johnson, Puff Daddy, Byron Allen, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey. These are black, Robert Johnson. These are black billionaires. To me, why I don't understand why they haven't gotten together and collectively created things for us, like banks and investment firms. And why do our schools in inner city struggle with anything when we have at least 12 black billionaires in this country? Like, I've never been able to understand that. And so when I see somebody like Tyler Perry and Byron Allen starting to say, okay, let's buy cable channels, let's buy studios, let's buy things. So now let's start to create our own narrative, so and stop depending on them for shit. And I think somebody said earlier in this show, if they won't let you in over there, why you keep going to them? Build your own shit, right? And we see Angela Bassett get screwed in the Oscars, and you see we get mad about Grammy snubs and all this, and it's like, well, those aren't our award shows anyways, right? Let's build our own shit.
Did you see? I went to see what movie, because when y'all was like Angela Bassett lost to Jamie Lee Curtis for something goofy, I was like, damn, I wonder what movie beat the Wakanda shit. And then I looked, and it was the movie that I was actually saying it was my favorite movie for this year. That Everywhere, Everything All at Once or some shit like that. But it's a karate movie that deal with parallel universes and shit. It's actually a dope ass movie. So when I seen the movie that won, I Wakanda ain't fucking with that. I ain't even seen Wakanda, but Wakanda.
The thing was, did she do a better job acting?
As far as acting, honestly,
it wasn't about which movie was better.
As far as the movie, now I will say this, and this may piss people off. By me watching the movie that won, I will say Jamie Lee Curtis as somebody who always plays more of a vixen or sexual person. For her to play the person she played in this movie, it was a stretch out of who she usually played. So I would commend her for that. And then but I'm also gonna say this, as far as Angela Bassett, I respect her for someone who's been in the industry as long as she has been. But I kind of feel like Angela Bassett, like how I feel about Will Smith. And we get the same character damn near every movie. They just, with Angela Bassett, you're going to get her quiver lip, and you're going to get her, Ike, or T'Challa, or she going to do the quiver lip and that, so me personally, I don't, sometimes everything ain't like them shitting on black folk things. Some things may be legit and earned. And honestly, seeing Jamie Lee Curtis play this ugly ass raggedy thing in this movie, knowing that every time I seen Jamie Lee Curtis growing up, her titties was out, this is a difference. So I think it does take, Angela Bassett regal anyway, so it ain't hard for her to play a queen. And then she gonna hit you with the quiver voice every movie. So, that's just my opinion. But everybody, got they, it's subjective.
I was paying attention to her accent from the piece that they showed from Black Panther when she was saying, like, I've lost my whole family. Like, what haven't I given? And I thought her accent was off the chain. Like, even the way she was kind of like rolling her R's like she was a real African. I didn't watch the movie either because I was mad because I felt like they should have just replaced the brother. I got that he died, but like I don't understand why the Black Panther has to become a girl. My son and my wife watched it. They thought it was dope. My son said that the movie was cool.
I'm sure it's a dope movie. Right. I have no desire to watch that or The Woman King.
Right. I was just gonna say I still ain't even seen The Woman King. Right. Like so, and it's on like Netflix now or something, or I see it or either on Prime.
I just don't like motherfuckers making money off of us just for the sake of us feeling proud. Like, to me, I still see it as a money move from Disney. Just like them making the Little Mermaid black. They know that if they pander to black people and cause some controversy, just for the sake of us supporting some shit, we'll go see it 3 to 5 times. Because, I'm going to go see it 5 times. Fuck white people that don't want to see it. I'm going to take my family to my cousins. Like, I seen it with the first Wakanda or Black Panther, and I liked that movie. It's just, even in that movie, I'm more of a Killmonger type motherfucker. Western culture is always going to villainize the revolutionary. So I don't want to see that white ass propaganda in blackface.
There you go. I like that. Mama Jenkins said my brother's still best of friends with them white boys from school in North Dakota. They some really cool people. We got keys to their lake homes, summer homes, and we just gained great friendship. Once again, the people who I met in that journey are irreplaceable in my life. And I would say some of even the white boys that was on our team, when we connect now and speak, it's the same thing. It's almost like, and I'm one of them people who hates to hear black people say there ain't no color, because I know it is. But it's like the way we relate to each other. If either you were on that team, either you was down, either you went through the fire with us, or you wasn't. And it was us against everybody outside that locker room. So even the white dudes, I could say some of them dudes, if I go to, like, when I've been in Minnesota before and I've heard somebody say, fucking Kevin Barnes, and I'll turn around and it's one of them. And it's like, my brother, man, like, Kev, man, Barnes. You know what I'm saying? Barnes, what you drinking, man? Your money's no good here, brother. It's like, and they don't all sound like Hulk Hogan. Yeah. But that's just, you know how white dudes get fired up, like, fucking Kevin Barnes, man. Barnes, man, you were a son of a bitch, man. Come on, man, knock a beer back with me, bro. And it's like, all right, man, I have one with you, man. Just because, you know, there was some cool people, man. I met so many black people. I gained family, like, because my partner's mom wouldn't let me, if they came after a game, to take them home, right? Like, my parents was all the way in Wisconsin. So if I was gonna say, well, I'm staying here, everybody going home for the weekend, my partner's mother, shout out to Tommy Reynolds and Miss Gibson, she said, you ain't staying here, you coming home with us. And she like, I'm not leaving till you pack up, Kevin. We ain't leaving you here by yourself, and we taking Tommy home, you coming with us. So I started going to the cities with them at her behest, man. And they always treated me with too much love, man. And she would say, I know your mom, if the shoe was on the other foot, she'd treat my son the same way. And that's how it was too, because that's how my mother was. So yeah. That's life, man. A great life experience. Dion says that movie's garbage, rail. It couldn't even keep my attention. He's talking about the movie she was big up.
I like it, man. But I'm into quantum physics and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm into quantum physics and martial arts. So
okay. Yeah, you did say that. He says she played some crazy bitch in that movie.
Yeah, she was. She was.
Mama Jenkins said, "Don't it's supposed to be a Black Panther 3 because of the baby?" I don't know. I didn't watch it. Marcus Holly said, "Real talk." He knows, man. It was an incredible experience I went through with those brothers, man. We had too much. It was too much. He said, "Woman King had me sleeping good." Sleep on Woman King, right? Share the show, man. It's Outlaw Radio, man. We have Pastor Monkey's ass, man. We getting ready to shut it down. We got a few key points we want to hit before we get out of here. I do, because and maybe as a reason I intend on talking about DeSantis every show, and I never get to it. And his whole anti-woke movement, and how you got a lot of people right now in this country who are building up this anti-woke sentiment, right? And I think that they try and aim it at us, but I think the term woke, how they're utilizing it now, is not the same derivative that we utilize when we say woke, right? So they've kind of switched up the definition of this word. Like, so I would look at a brother like Kamar, right, or Rail, and I would say them brothers is woke brothers. You say, what you mean he woke? Well, he one of them dudes who believes in holistic stuff. He talks about, you know, his ancestors and his lineage, and he's aware of the history, and he's on to enlightening himself about different kinds of things to deal with our quality of life now, right? Like, so being vegan or taking herbs or getting involved in what Rail invests in terms of shadow work and stuff like that. I consider those brothers woke. Their definition of woke is like they're making it look like somebody who's a pansy, somebody who cries and moans about everything, some bleeding heart liberal who's just hypersensitive about every single aspect. And so they're making it into this kind of negative thing. And DeSantis is the governor of Florida right now. He has all kinds of racist legislation on deck. And I don't where are the black people in Florida? I don't know. I don't know where they are. I don't know how they're allowing this to happen. Like, because when we talk about going against critical race theory and they don't want the kids to know the history and all that kind of stuff, he's one of the Republicans at the forefront of that. And so I want to talk about that every week, and I never really get a chance to. So we're gonna have to dedicate a show to that. Mama Jenkins said y'all have a great weekend and be safe, be careful, and bye-bye. Good night, Mama Jenkins. Good night. Sleep tight, right? God bless Mama Jenkins. So we'll get to Ron DeSantis next week. I did want to go back because we talked about the Chinese, and I'm seeing like now people are making Charleston White into a hero, and they're saying we as black people should be standing with him against Chinese people because of the relationship between Korean and Chinese store owners and who own the hair stores and stuff like that. So they're saying Charleston White is low key some sort of prophet. I seen Star coming on saying, is he the new Tupac Shakur? And I, of course, off top, I would say, hell motherfucking no. Right? Not even close. But Tupac gets credit for being somebody who shined a lot of light on things and wasn't scared to speak, even if it was controversial. Same as Pimp C. Like, you might not agree with the way Pimp said it, but he spoke to issues a lot, right? And so if you could filter out some of the obscenities or whatever, what have you, or the way he said it, you get a lot of nuggets out of what Pimp C would say a lot of times. And Tupac was the same way, but I don't see Charleston White as the same. And I think anytime it's okay for us to discuss the issues we have with Chinese people and Asian people. And I think there's a way to do that. I don't think it's cool to start saying shit like rape little babies or rape old women. See, I don't care if you are a character. I don't care if you're a comedian. I don't care any of that. And I'm the biggest proponent for comedians to have freedom of speech. Like, y'all know that. But when you start talking about raping and harming children, to me, that's out of order. It's out of bounds. It's uncalled for. And I can't, black or white, I can't stand behind you if that's your rhetoric. If that's what you spinning, I can't rock with you. Now, if you're saying we got some concerns with our relationships with Asian people in our community, I say, yeah, we do. That's some shit we need to be talking about. When we start throwing in and yeah, fuck them. Oh, I believe all of them should be raped and fucked in their ass. And this is what he said. I believe all Chinese women should be raped and fucked in their ass and fuck their little babies and their babies need to be molested. These are the things he said. He's saying, I cannot rock with you, right? Yeah. This becomes an issue that ain't even about being on code with you, brother. This is some issue that becomes with you being out of order. And you can't just throw some shit up in the air and think I'm going to ride with you because you black, right? Like because we know black people be on some bullshit. We know black people steal too. I know because I used to steal with y'all. Right, so I got to be able to call a spade a spade. She said he's a Mike Epps clone. I don't think he's funny though. Some of the shit he says is funny, but most of it's just like, because see, the issue is if this is where we're at in a society where it's cool for me to say the most disrespectful, egregious shit to you, and then go and call the police, and then say, okay, and if you come for me, I'm gonna call the police. See, to me, that's like, well, what kind of shit is this? Now you're like that. You're like that slave, that tribe, that African in the jungle who was leading other slaves to being captured, selling other villages out to slave masters. Right now, you become that kind of individual to me. So I'm not standing with that brother on that. And I don't. If we're gonna talk about our issues with Asians, we need to do it in the way it needs to be done in the right way. I don't think insulting babies and saying rape and rob old Chinese women is the way to go. So I don't y'all got any feelings about that, or have y'all even? I pay attention to this.
On that.
Well, yeah, I don't rock with anybody that spew hatred and fear and confusion and shit like that. But I don't know what the catalyst was. Like, did an Asian do something to him? Was like, what the fuck happened with that shit?
If you know, there's China Mac, who is they're all, these are all internet, like YouTube. I tell you, I live in the podverse. So if you go on YouTube, and you see this kind of stuff, China Mac is I guess a Chinese cat from New York who has some cred, some street cred. He's been to jail. Like, he's like, you know how we have now cats who are
He a
famous on
rapper or
YouTube.
something?
He's involved in hip hop some way, or whatever, pop culture some way. Because we have all these characters now that are YouTube celebrities. You got like Hassan Campbell and like Mob James and like Whack 100. All these dudes are, it's like the Kardashians, like famous for being famous.
Okay.
Not because, you know, he was the greatest rapper or the greatest producer.
Right.
Just a personality on the internet, on the web.
What they call them, celebutants.
Yeah, they figured out a way to get things done. You look at like Nori and all these podcasters who are making money. They're not classically trained radio personalities or journalists. They're celebrities who are making millions of dollars off podcasting. And look at $1 million worth of game with Gilly and Wallow. Like, Gilly's a pretty much a failed rapper. Wallow is just his cousin who was in prison for 20 years, who's now out, and they just got $100 million deal. And so these are the kind of like the tastemakers now for our culture. People go to YouTube to see these dudes get millions of views. And so this is China Mac. They clashed somehow on something. Somebody was on somebody's podcast. There was a beef.
And then he just involved the whole Asian community in it because he beefing with this one guy that happens to be Asian.
Right, because that's what Charleston White does. If he gets into it with you, he insults your whole city, family, culture. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying, well, as a character, I'm this. And I'm like, yeah, but when do you look around and see that it's not funny? Well,
he gonna
got
look
a lot
around
of brothers.
And see the triad, the three uncles is gonna be on his ass. That's when he gonna realize this shit is real.
Well, I just like, and then, you know, you got black people who swear they're so much deeper than us, and so they say, no, y'all got it twisted. We should be supporting this brother. Or, no, man, he ain't wrong. And I'm like, nah, wrong is wrong, man. It doesn't matter. Black, white, whatever you are, wrong is wrong. When you wrong, you're wrong. You dead ass wrong. So I'm not rocking with the shit. I just wanted to throw that out there. We won't be back until Monday. Kamar, you got something cracking this weekend?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I do. Tomorrow I'll be at Scene 1 with the Black Business. Wisconsin Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm sorry. And then Sunday I'll be at the mosque again for the Unity Market on Teutonia.
Okay. And to make it clear for anybody who's listening to the show, Kamar and myself don't have beef. So if you heard the joke, them motherfuckers mad at each other. Oh, them niggas. It is never ever. Right. Well,
that'll help a motherfucker tune in to the next one. See what happened.
I just want, you know, because people.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's all good.
Right. And people got to understand, man, I get memories that pop up on my Facebook all the time. And some of them are from 7 years ago. And it's myself and Kamar and brother Jason sitting down here in his basement doing Outlaw Radio. So trust and believe, Kamar knows exactly what the ebb and flow of this thing is, and he know how it gets. So anybody out there looking for dissension in the ranks, you got to look elsewhere. I just want to make that point, Kamar. You know what I'm saying? Marcus Holly said, whatever they do, stop calling us African-American. We the only real Americans. Big difference. Like when KB was saying at the North Dakota basketball game, yo Mugabe, and click, killing y'all. You ain't supposed to tell people. You ain't supposed to tell people about my shenanigans, Marcus Holly. Yo, you ain't supposed to tell people about me acting an ass in public, Marcus. That was a long time ago. He talked about me calling African people Mugabe and making fun of them at a basketball game one time. Damn. Yeah, it was pretty bad. He said, proud of you, brother KB. and crew. Blessings and peace. Yes, sir.
Peace,
Absolutely, man.
peace.
Holla at, man. If you see any other brothers up there, Marcus, in the Twin Cities, tell them holla at your boy, man. Because Wayne Richards is another one who's usually on here with me from the Twin Cities. Rel, what you got popping this weekend, man?
Oh shit, same old, working on this book, still promoting this book, 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope. Available on Amazon, or I got some on deck as well if you're in the Milwaukee area. Teaching motherfuckers how to learn self-love, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, independent thinking. The book I'm working on that I'm hoping to drop by this summer is 40 Ways to Get $40, where I'm teaching 40 ways to make money from the comfort and safety of your own home, whether you are a professional with a degree, a millennial who just understands how to work social media and Google search engine optimization, or if you a lady in the evening and want to find a safer way to utilize your skills and gifts from the safety of your home remotely where nobody gotta be even in your presence. I got a section for everybody. I got a section for the spirituals who want to learn how to turn their spiritual gifts into revenue so they can quit their 9 to 5 and provide their services to the people all day. So, just be on the lookout for that. As spring approaches, I think I'm going to go ahead and be a gardening consultant and do consultations where I could come check out your location, let you know where the sun going to be at, let you know how to line that shit up, and, just let you know the best things to plant where. So if anybody interested in that, you can either DM me or email me at higherfrequency@gmail.com. That's HIGHERFREAKUENCY@gmail.com.
All right, man. It was Outlaw Radio broken down, and a lot of the conversation was directed towards gatekeepers in the box that I call it a box that we find ourselves in Milwaukee as people of color. Like our community is subjugated and compromised. And I guess one of my points was that, as usual, a lot of our wounds, our most grave wounds, are self-inflicted. I think nobody stops us like us, right? And so I say all the time, Black people argue about the argument, right? Like we actually get into an argument about what was we arguing about, and we start arguing about that. We just have not found a way to really put ourselves together in a positive fashion that can bring change to our community. And every time we get a group of individuals who get together and they want to do, or they say they want to do right in the community, it becomes counterproductive because there's no real infusion of new blood and fresh thoughts. Like it all becomes groupthink. It all becomes follow me. It all becomes get like me, be like me, say what I say, dress like me. There's really no room for growth when we say we want challenge, we want change downtown. But we're never going to get there if we keep voting the same people in. If we keep voting the same friends of those people in. If we don't really invest in understanding what issues are actually on the table. A lot of people don't even know what an alderman does, from the difference between an alderman, a senator, a congressman, a county supervisor. They don't know what's the difference between the mayor and the alderman. A lot of them don't know. And so they either don't vote or they vote blindly. They vote for a name brand. I wasn't trying to call David Bowen out or call Andrea Pratt out because of I got something personal against them. I was merely pointing out the fact that they had to do very little in terms of what we said should be a requirement, which is, what is your plan? What's your agenda? We know what the issues is in the community. Do you have some ideas that could counter that in the community? Now, people say Vince didn't give one, but I haven't heard either one of them come up with a plan either. So when it comes to the damage that gatekeepers do is they create and they herd sheep, right? And if you know, sheep are pretty much the most mindless animals in which you can herd them and just make them go where you want them to go if you herd them correctly. And so this is what gatekeepers do. They create sheep. Now, there are some of us who are not sheep. We're wolves, right? We move in a pack. We move independently. We move and do the things that are best for our survival. But there's not enough of us. And so it becomes very hurtful when you have gatekeepers that capitalize on the don't knows and isolate the do knows, right? And that's why I speak against it. And I've seen up close and personal where somebody had real live intentions and hope for the community, and they didn't even get a chance because the wrong gatekeeper said, don't support that person, or I'm not going to give this person access to this or that. So it could be harmful in that regard. But what I do agree with is perseverance. I am with Kamar on, look, man, what you going to do? Quit? What you going to do? Give up? Like he said, his mom would say, my mom used to say the same thing. You better handle that shit because you can't stay here forever. So you better figure something out. You better come up with some solution. Don't come in here crying about it to me, right? Tell me what you're going to do about it. So I'm entirely with you on that. But I think we need to have all of this food on the table because some people like ribs and some people like shoulder. And so if you could walk around the table and get what you want, put it on your plate, you'll eventually be full. That is a metaphor in which a fat dude used food to talk about understanding. And so that's my point with that. As usual, there's a reason we talk about certain things. And I think sometimes shaking the table and making people uncomfortable is what's required. I definitely think there's a large portion of Milwaukee that needs to be shaken up to say, when are you going to get up off your ass? When are you going to do something about it instead of complaining about it? Because we know a lot of people can go verbatim with what the problem is, but they also have no solution. And most of the time, people don't understand a lot of situations in the neighborhood because they're just not out there, because they're just not in the community. They don't interact with the people in the community. They become aloof. So what that really creates is a situation where there's some people who actually their criticism of the community outweighs their contribution. And the result of that is usually that they become coons. Don't be a coon. Don't be like them. Right. Be informed, man. Peace and love. Y'all have a great weekend, man. Thank y'all for supporting Outlaw Radio. Hit me up for the apparel. Hit Kamara. Be where he's at. Support his movement. Get Rel's books. And don't be ashamed if you see us out in public to holler, man. We all humble people, and we appreciate the acknowledgement for what we do. Capital Drive in Atkinson. Stand up for life. I will see y'all Monday. Peace.